Something's going wrong in the neighborhood. Why do we see further than we should? All around us people run away, like to when to see without a care. There simply is no curve inside, and you know we don't spin all day and night. It seems they want our minds flooded with lies. If you want to bust the globe, I know these guys. Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call?
Who you gonna call when the horizon flattens out? Go ahead, call them up, see what that's about. We can go around in circles trying to find us out, but if you're looking for the truth, got to find it out. NASA can't go to space, so we hit the roof. Get it, hit the roof, and it all came to light with 200 proofs. Now I'm just really sick of people lying to me. So when I tell the truth, don't come crying to me. Pick up the phone, get on the line with me. Line with me. Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call?
Oops, and welcome everybody to Globebusters. I am your host, Bob Xanadude60, and today's show is titled Geological Deceptions. So, we are supposed to have a couple of guests today, and I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if they got caught up in traffic or what happened, but we were kind of expecting Kyle and Karina Adams from their Flat Earth University series and their Flat Earth kind of master course that they're doing. Hopefully they will be on here shortly. Maybe they're just running late. And yeah, other than that, we're running with a little bit of a short staff today, but that's okay because we're going to make a go of it anyway. So let's go ahead and introduce the panel that we do have so far. And first up, as always, is Jaren from Jaren. Hi, Jarenism. How you doing, Jaren? Uh-oh. You're muted, Jaren.
How about that? I'm on
there
the
you
ball.
go.
There you go.
Rookie mistake.
Well, yeah, exactly. See, the first time I've done this. And I was just about to say that, you know, with me, we're never short-staffed, but then, of course, I had to make that error. So, no, doing well. It's a nice day here and happy to be here. And hopefully everyone's happy as well that we're back with another show.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool. And we also have with us the doctor, as always, Rodrigo Ferrari. Yes, how you doing, Rodrigo?
Hello, Bob. Hello, Jared. How's it going? Yes, doing well. It's been a nice day here as well. It's kind of warm. Finally, it's kind of like springish. Yeah, good to see you. You're back, and happy to see what you got to share. This sounds exciting. You hear from Kyle. You've been doing good work. It's good to have people like that looking into details and stuff. It's kind of like what I want to be doing. Also, like with my work, going back through the beginning. Gonna do a big revision type of project, hopefully, as well.
Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah, I've been kicking around different ideas on ways to change up the show. And, I've had so many things on my mind. I mean, besides the obvious crap that's going on in the world, but, I hear we've all heard about how it seems to be there's so many people that are turning into flat earthers. I mean, according to even some of the mainstream polls that are going out there, there's literally millions of them, millions upon millions upon millions. And, just the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, Zach got in touch with an old friend of his from high school that he hadn't talked to, since way back then. And when his friend goes, so, what's going on? What's important in life right now? Zach's kind of like, well, you're never going to believe this. This is absolutely crazy. And his friend goes, let me guess, you believe the world is flat, right? Zach was like taken aback, and he's like, yeah, exactly. And he goes, well, I do too, you know? So it's amazing how many times this seems to be happening all over the place, left and right. It just seems like, you know, flat earthers are, you know, there seems to be a huge presence of them somewhere, but it doesn't seem like the big amount of them is on YouTube, like they're kind of, you know, purported to be. I know that.
You know, remember when we in the past when we always talked about there's only is a one-way street, right? It's a one-way gauge. Like you can't really come out. So no matter how much censorship they make, the numbers will just grow. They don't diminish. The
Yeah, in
more
fact,
propaganda, the worse.
Yeah, the censorship actually increases it
Yeah.
because you know a lot of people once they're on to the the whole thing. Remember, I told the story before, but the guy actually moved out. But there was a neighbor who moved in across the street, and he came over here and was saying hi. He moved in, and we started playing some shuffleboard with my shuffleboard table. Then we went out in the garage, and we're kind of talking. That's when I started to break it to him a little bit about flat Earth, and I'm trying to tell him, convince him, showing him the globe, talking about it. He's just kind of going, nah, I don't know, man, I don't know. And then like 30 minutes into it, I said, and you do know that, YouTube is blocking any flat earth content and delisting. He's like, what? He's like, why didn't you lead with that? He's like, that's the best evidence you've given me. So I'm like here telling him all about the globe and how planes fly and nothing convinced him until I told him that YouTube was blocking. He's like, oh, well, now I'm convinced. If they're blocking it, there's a reason. So I think a lot of people are starting to see that's kind of the nature of the beast.
Yeah, that is bizarre too. That people look at that, and a lot of people have said that too. It's like, why if flat Earth is such a stupid, ridiculous topic, would they want to even block it? And you said it a long time ago, Jaron, when you were talking about how the powers that be can't really stop the news from covering it, or stop anybody from covering it, because they've spent all these years building it into something that's utterly archaic and ridiculous and insane. And you would think that would be all they want to do, is get these people out there and ridiculing it and stuff like that. But instead, people are going out and they're finding out that there's something to it. And then when they start witnessing this obvious, blatant censorship of it, people are going, "What the hell?" They don't do that with anything. I mean, but of course, these days now the president of the United States gets censored. But this is kind of a whole new era. But even long before that, they were really putting the brakes on flat Earth. So just crazy. I don't know what to think about it.
No, me either.
So yeah. So anyway. So let's see. So a couple of things. One thing I'm running right now, I want you guys to just kind of, this has music playing in the background, what I've got showing on the screen. But this particular video is by a guy called Rockets Push Off Air. I've highlighted his stuff many, many times on this show. And he kind of cracks me up because he reminds me of like Jeff Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. But he's super, super intelligent, but he's just got this really kind of quirky personality. But he is really, really good at logical and deductive and mathematical thinking. And, one of the last things that he did that I really highlighted was the edge velocity versus the, globe RPM. Because, if you look at the globe spinning, 1 revolution per day, it's at 0.000695 RPM, which is how the globers would like you to look at it. But of course, the edge velocity is actually 1,037.5 miles per hour, right?
And the size of it, right? That's the big point as well, right? It's like they want to compare it with a plate turning at once a day, right?
Exactly. And really what matters is the big killer, and it even says it in the engineering handbooks and everything, that the major stress factor is the edge velocity. And that's why you can have little bitty wheels like on a Dremel tool turning at 30,000 RPM. You can get away with that. And I think his comparison was on a Rolls-Royce 747 engine, which was also the edge velocity of those blades was turning at about 1,000 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And he detonated one of those. They detonated one of those things, and the explosive force, that came off of that was just unbelievable. So, you would think that not only would there be, a slight bulge of, 24 miles or whatever it's supposed to be at the equator, but should it be flying off everywhere? But, whatever. So anyway, so getting back to this, he recently started looking at the logbooks from some of the older sailing ships that have actually gone out on scientific expeditions to, get very accurate mileages of the Earth, right? And he takes some of this stuff out of, people's logbooks, and also he was able to extrapolate using some of the known absolutely positively known mileages of things like railroad tracks and railroad lines in Australia, and be able to put them together. And what he's finding is that two things: the equator is not anywhere near 24,901 miles, and the additional thing is as you go further south of the equator, the longitudinal lines are actually spreading out. They're getting further and further apart. So, we heard a little bit about that from the guy that came on that did the yacht racing, right?
Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Everything's off. Everything's off, according to him.
The south, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what he's doing is he's making a pretty comprehensive case in this video, doing absolutely known mileages, known angles, and using something. He's very good at geometry, and so he's making these comparisons and showing actually where the Gleason's map is not so wrong on a lot of these distances, and the globe Earth is way far off by hundreds and hundreds of miles in certain areas. So, and this, honestly, this is kind of my weak area, is the spatial perception type of thing. But because I watched this video, 3 or 4 times, and I'm kind of hanging on what he's got to it. But what we need is those people that are really good at geometry and understand this, far better than we do, to kind of team in with him and, kind of give him some support, I guess, and in terms of mathematical backup. And, if there's any mistakes, obviously point that out. But otherwise, it just seems like he's onto something that's really amazing here. And of course, it's not a surprise, is it? Because they use everything they possibly can, against us, as far as obfuscating the entire story. And that's one of the things that Kyle and Karina are going to talk about, hopefully, if they come on today, is where it starts is right in the school books, right? Where they teach us about the flat Earth, and they just give us all these assumptions. They make these just blatant statements, and they don't ever show you how they actually derive at those statements. And that's a problem. So what they're doing is they're saying, well, all right, so we want to delve into that. We want to look at that and see if we can find out where exactly these, oh, there he is. There's Kyle. Let me bring him in. Hang on just a second. Hey, neighbor, there you are.
Hello. Sorry about that. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. Yeah, I was wondering what happened to you. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to, Kyle, but
right.
we were just talking about your series, and was kind of giving the background on how we are deceived in so many ways. Starting with the with everything, but it starts in the education system. And you just went to device not connected, so I think you're out. And let me re-add you. Okay, are you back?
Yep, I think I'm back. I just pushed the wrong button.
Okay, all right, cool. So, and I was saying to them that basically you guys are starting out with some of the things that they teach us in our textbooks. And, they're just blatantly coming out and making these statements right out of the blue, without giving any background as to how they were derived, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are calling that into question. So I guess that's kind of one place that we can start at, is if you want to tell everybody where you're going with the, I guess you call it the Modern Earth Science Destroyed series, and kind of your intention behind it. That would be super.
Okay. Well, right in the beginning, we went and talked about this whole concept of building things without a foundation. The whole book, time and time again, it keeps making these claims without any observations to back them up. And so what we're doing is we are going through and just pointing out each time the book does that and says, okay, well, what's backing up your claims here? And that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
What kind of textbook is this?
This is just a typical 9th grade earth science textbook.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. We wanted to go with the very basics here. Just trying to pick up the foundation. And so, okay, if I'm going to go and chop down a tree, do I want to chop it down at the very top, or do I want to go down to the bottom and chop it down? And so we're going to want to go for the bottom, right? If we're going to knock down a building, are we going to go for the top, or are we going to go for the bottom? So anyways, we asked ourselves, okay, where are we going to find the bottom? Are we going to find the foundation in a college level textbook? Or are we going to find it in an elementary textbook?
Well,
this isn't quite elementary. This is 9th grade. So it's kind of high school
college
here.
Ones, they have always have some references, but they don't cover everything. And obviously they don't tell you to ask questions about what they present as givens, right?
Yeah.
It's rare that they admit that they don't know something. But I would take a look. One thing I would suggest, like, take a look at the transition. If you can find old edition astronomy textbooks for university level that are before they start talking about exoplanets, because there was a moment that they all claimed there was no way that they would ever see planets. And yeah, it's just that one, this big shift. They love this idea that they're writing the textbooks, right? When they come up with their little stories. I can send to you later some things I've been digging that might help to piece some things together on radio science, because it's one of the journals in academic literature that talks about flat Earth all the time. Because in order to study radio propagation, the models that work are flat.
Yeah.
That is so true.
We've got a video about that when we talk about the firmament, about how they actually bounce radio signals off of the firmament. That it just makes sense that way. And then there's another video that I was watching recently done by Paul Sandu, and he was talking about the same concept as well. And so one concept was called skywave propagation, and then the other concept was called tropospheric scattering.
Yeah, and a lot of that is just utterly ridiculous. Now, there is one part of it, that I think may actually have some weight to it, and that would be like radio propagation versus via tropospheric ducting, right? Because it's very interesting. If you follow some of the ham radio operators, they do a type of transmission called QRP, which means very low power transmission. And it turns out that a lot of them have gotten turned on to the fact that if you orient your ham radio site that you're transmitting from on one of the major ley lines that have been plotted out, all of a sudden they have found that their signal strengths dramatically increased to other places in the world, and they have a lot more places available that they're able to talk to. It's just very interesting.
So it's like they're catching into some kind of magnetic vein or something like this, a stream.
Yeah, essentially it would be kind of there's natural ducting, I guess. And John the Morgal actually talked about this. He had a friend that was doing this study where these plasma ducts were kind of being utilized to route radio frequencies around. And to me, it sounds very plausible. And of course, when you get evidence such as the hams actually setting up, setting up their stations on these ley lines and actually getting these fantastic results, well, that kind of lends a little bit of credibility to it, So interesting stuff. But anyway, continue on. I'm sorry, Kyle.
That's fine. Anyways, I was just saying, I wanted to start with the very basics, and so I picked a 9th grade textbook instead of a college textbook. But the idea is I can point out all these different holes that they talk about here, referring to a hole as a place where they make a claim without any observations to back it up. And so that being a hole. And so I can point out the holes here. And then when I'm done with this textbook, I'm going to come back with a college level textbook and see if it can't do the job at filling in the holes, which I've been to college. It doesn't. And so that's really how it goes. And so,
yeah, Ben has also said that to us. Of course, Ben, Taboo Conspiracy, who is he's got a master's in law and a Juris Doctorate. And he says he even got an A in astronomy when he took that. And, he says that it just doesn't clarify these things. A lot of this stuff is just simple assertion and memorize based stuff,
Yeah.
And that does appear to be the case. So, it's very doubtful that you're ever going to find any in-depth explanations for any of this, any more than you would, the Earth curve geometry being 8 inches per mile squared, which is, by the way, something that is under attack again, but we'll talk about that later. That's just ridiculous what's going on with that.
Yeah, the whole book, it's really entertaining to watch it, to go through and read it with the new set of eyes that we're given the moment we join the censored Earth community, as I say in the intro here. Just looking at some of the ones that I thought were just hilarious in this chapter anyway, were concerning what was it? Sorry. My words have escaped me.
That's okay. Well,
time zone maps. That's what I was going to say. Time zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole thing about China having a single time zone, and yet they're claiming that the time zone's all about the sun's positioning in the sky, and but China's got just as much land. They've even got more land than the United States, and yet they just have a single time zone.
I suppose that's a political thing, right? They just make the whole country have the same time. It's the government that decides that. It's odd. Yeah, it's pretty odd. Countries decide usually if they want to go into for daylight savings time or not. And the guy that covered that very well is the sailor again that went around the world. He was talking about all the time zone discrepancies. There's some hours they're missing.
Oh yeah, it's huge. And when you look at the lines, they're just all over the place. And then some places, now granted, a lot of it is legislative. Like for example, here in the United States, the state of Arizona just says screw, daylight savings time. We're not going to adhere to it. And whatever. So that just adds more to confusion when you have other states surrounding it on either side. Like Colorado that does adhere to it, but it really gets confusing around the international date line. That's where it's just a complete mess.
Yeah, we pointed out that they have like a 3-hour time jump on going from there over around Alaska.
Yeah, that's where the problem lies. Huge.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said too. He goes, yeah, that's a really big, really big snafu there. That's a, one of the big deceptions that people are having a hard time. But and then of course one thing also that you covered in this that I thought was interesting is you're talking about you have the perihelion, or I always called it perihelion, but I guess they call it perihelion, but whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
And aphelion, when you are going around those corners in the elliptical orbit, that you should be able to measure that stuff. And I even made a comment in your comments about that, and some guy came back and said, oh well, yeah, we know that because we measure the gravity there. And of course, you saw my response. I said measuring gravity there doesn't tell you anything, because that's just a static thing. If you were going by the gravitational model of mass attracting mass, or more mass, being having a higher gravitational, by their model, then anything, more mass in the Earth or higher density mass could cause those gravitational anomalies, right? I said, but the thing that you should be seeing, and this is the thing that nobody ever covers, is we should be able to, during these aphelion and perihelion points, we should be able to set those gravimeters or accelerometers or whatever, and we should see them change on a predictable rate. Exactly.
Don't you get lighter in that time? I thought in January it's always 5 kilos lighter because the sun is pulling you up.
Of course.
Yeah, that's what they say. But see, they always give it a static thing, like it's going to be worked out, just based on gravity. It's like, no, we should absolutely be able to detect these changes dynamically as they are happening during the perihelion or aphelion points, right?
Yeah.
And that never happens.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like that day you go on the beach. You know, when I used to live in Vancouver, it was right by the beach. I would go out at night, and they have the full moon right up there, and the sea is like a low tide. You're like, okay, what's going on here? Right? 'Cause
Yeah.
they tell you the astronomy course. They even have a freaking model of a round circle ball Earth with the ocean around it bulging after the moon, right?
Yet it never does that with it never does that with the sun.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm really glad that you guys are covering this, and you guys are, and I got to tell you, Karina is so good at, playing the innocent person. Well, how come this is this? She does that so beautifully.
Well,
You got everybody just going, yeah, how come? Why is that so? So
Yeah.
you guys really make a dynamic team. You do a fabulous job on these videos.
I'll make sure I tell her that. She's with the kids right now, trying to keep them quiet. And, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's definitely a part of it. And it's, it really is cool when you have your wife that is, supporting you in what you're doing. And, Jaren has that luxury. I have that luxury, but not everybody has that luxury.
Yeah.
And it really, really is a big thing, to be able to do that.
Yeah. I've watched the demographics on all of this, and I've noticed that about 3% of all my viewers are female. It's like,
yeah, still the percentages are so low. It's so funny to see that.
It's funny.
yeah, like 3% of my viewers here, just with the flat Earth community and everything, are female. And so I'm wanting to, make a list of all of the different flat Earth channels right now that are female, just so I can highlight them and try and encourage people to try and.
They're a bunch. They're a bunch. I wonder if their viewership is mostly men as well.
I'm assuming so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be.
Or if you can really trust what Google's telling you about that, right? Because people have to have put the right gender, whatever, in their questionnaire.
Yeah. And that is always an issue. Is people saying the wrong gender when they sign into YouTube and such.
Yeah. And how much of that can you even trust? I mean, can we trust anything that YouTube tells us? I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And which people are signing up and probably just putting, I'm a male, just for fun.
Yeah.
Right.
But
that's right.
That's where I've been just looking at my own list of different flat Earth channels out there, and I'm just really trying to filter them out, find out which ones are female and which ones are male, kind of by hand.
Yeah. Well, Karen B seems to be doing really well lately, but
oh yeah, she's fantastic.
Yeah, but she has been literally into everything. I mean, she does her Tuesday night show with Mark Sargent and her multiple shows with Brian Stavely, and she jumps into the Friday Lounge with Jaren, and she'll be on Globebusters, and then you name it. I mean, she's there.
Yeah.
Does it with Baldini, the Poppycart report when Rose isn't there. It's like, wow, she's kind of like the female counterpart to David Weiss and Mark Sargent, right?
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah. So she's got high props for that.
Yeah. So that's really cool. But yeah, I'm glad that there's, more and more women that are getting into this. And I've always noticed that women, bring something very unique to the table, and that they see things in a unique way that, if you take the time to actually understand where they're coming from, that they can really blow your mind with some of the things that they're observing. And
yeah, absolutely.
You've noticed that too. And it's not always
Yes.
easy for them to convey it, because they don't speak in terms of logic, more like men would.
Uh-huh.
But they so totally get, well, I'm not dissing them like that, but I mean, they just work differently. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
yeah, totally.
Like I
And
always have
so-
to tell my wife when they ask, what are you thinking? And you say nothing. It's like women just don't understand that that's our real answer, that we can really sit there and think nothing. So they don't have that ability, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, okay, so where were we going? Okay, so some of the other things that, other subjects that you've covered in here before, and, there's this one, which I thought this one was an absolutely exceptional video. The latest one, The Modern Earth Science Destroyed, Chapter 2.2, The Movements of the Earth, was extraordinary because, again, this is something that is really, really covered up and obfuscated in such a big way, you know, that we should be able to measure these changes. I mean, because we're not talking about subtle changes here. We're talking about speed changes of several thousand miles or kilometers per hour, rather radical angle changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I
like
was really surprised with this one because I actually convinced quite a few globe earthers that no, the sun does not always move at 15 degrees per hour. It convinced them, and it was like, yes, score.
No, it doesn't. And that, by the way, is another one of those things that they use against us. And speaking of that, and I'm going to use that opportunity to bring this into, okay, these couple things. All right, so a couple things, and I think I'm going to share this, but I don't know if I'll play him now or not, but Rob Skiba, when he was doing his test, and here on Testing the Globe, Debunking number 9, the top 10 reasons. And I think I'm going to mirror these out on one of our channels, but he talks about how when he was creating his model, his flat earth model, that he was using, oh gosh, what's the software he uses, Jaron?
Which one?
The software that Rob Skiba uses, the free version online that
Unity.
Sketch. No,
not yet.
The 3 modeling software. I can't remember.
It's the astronomy software that's free.
Astronomy.
Okay, say something else.
Kerbal Space.
No, it's not Kerbal.
Kerbal Space
Crap.
Program,
Well,
right.
anyway, I'll think of it. Or somebody put it Stellarium. There you go. Thank you, G.R. Cleave. Stellarium, right? And he's talking about how when he's tracking the sun movements, and he's using Stellarium, which is obviously a heliocentric based. And then he said, what I'm going to do is I wonder what would happen if I took the sun patterns and I just overlaid it onto a flat Earth and see what happens. And you know what? I'm going to play this. So let me do that. So let me stop this share. And I'm going to play this really quick. I wish we had a faster way of doing these screen shares, and we probably do, but I'll have to
That's a pain.
get that. All right, so here we go. There's that, share audio. So I'm going to play a little bit of what he says about this right here. So let's go.
Coming up from my right and going over me to my left, so from east to west, And after I modeled the whole thing and looked at it, and with the ground plane off and the stars off, it's just a black background with the sun and moon going around counterclockwise. I thought, man, I wonder what that would look like over the flat Earth map. And so I punched out the black in my video software and put in the image of the azimuthal equidistant map. And then the only thing I did to that video was do a horizontal flip, because it was going counterclockwise from the ground view looking up. And since I'm now looking down from above, it needed to switch from going counterclockwise to going clockwise. That's all I did. The only thing I did.
It's amazing how
What I
it kind of
discovered
works. Eh?
was, and even though it's not 100% perfect, it actually shows the sun and moon going in an outer ring and an inner ring, going between the two tropics and going over the equator. So in our winter, in January, it's going in the outer rim circle, and in our summer, it's going in the inner rim circle, going between the two tropics over the equator. And the software actually made the sun speed up and slow down. Again, I didn't do that. I didn't do anything to it. I'm sitting there going, wow. And I'm thinking, did this software actually just show me how the 4 seasons work on a flat Earth map?
I think it did. I think it absolutely did. Because he's not the only one. We have corroborating evidence on that as well. We have a guy by the name of Dave Marsh, right? And let me just go back over to this again. And Dave Marsh did a series called Moon Race, where he was literally tracking the speed of the moon going across, or from the Tropic of Cancer to the equator, and then across to the Tropic of Capricorn. And what he found is there was a very distinct speed change, and he tracked it, and you could see the reason he called it moon race is because he showed that the moon in the northern hemisphere versus the equatorial moon versus the southern hemisphere, and there was a distinct speed difference. So what's going on here?
Has to accelerate when it goes to the outer ring.
Exactly. Now, if the world was truly heliocentric, and worked in the way that they tell us that it works, that we're spinning away, we're spinning around, and the Earth is rotating at this constant speed all the time, and the sun isn't moving at all, then that would simply be impossible, right? Especially for the sun. But we have both the sun and the moon changing their speeds from one hemisphere to the other. And I think that is that is huge. And I think if we really focus on that, we get some people to get out. We need to get these observations done, and not only check stellarium, but maybe some other astronomical type of software where you can do these same types of adjustments like what Rob was doing. I think they're all going to show the same thing, because why? Because they have to, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise they can't be accurate.
One thing that's also very useful is to have people in the far north, beyond 60 north, because it is very clearly you can see the sun going away and coming back in the winter, and the days getting way shorter. But if you have a way to observe that year round with someone all the time, and you get a network of people doing that, then
yeah, I think that'll put it. Of course, the ballers will have some ridiculous excuse for that, but you cannot deny the obvious, when it is being observed by, multiple places all over the world. I mean, yeah, they can deny it, but how much credibility are they going to have when, people are simply recording it and saying, okay, here it is. This is what we got. And these are the speed differences. And we're showing a distinct speed change from northern to southern hemispheres. Go ahead, Jern.
No, I was just looking at this chart. A couple of things.
Oh, okay.
We talked about the I keep want to say perihelion, but no, the sun and moon chart in the sky, the anolemas. We talked about that in the video. Clear, plain as day evidence that the sun and moon travel at different speeds throughout the year.
Right?
Yeah, I think it's one of the best evidences, really.
I agree.
Absolutely.
People understood it.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. If you have people stationed and placing their cameras in a certain way every day, taking the photo, you get lots of anolemas to compare, and that can be very useful if you get a good mathematician that can place it and kind of, you know what I mean, see the distances between the points and compare the observations. It's possible to do this. You need people to get organized to do it. This last year has been horrible for that because people got so distracted with everything going on. It's impossible not to, and still a problem.
Yep, exactly. And Kyle, of course, covers the analemma in this as well. And your conclusion was that it seems to me that having an equalized analemma would match more the model, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure what their reason is for the displacement over the crossover point being higher, unless it has something to do with the tilt. But that's something else that is ridiculous. That a simple 20-degree angle, as far as the light coming into it, would cause such a dramatic change and completely override a nearly 4 million mile difference in proximity to the sun. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I had a friend who went and charted this out in his own program, and he had to show, in order to create an elliptical orbit, that was the reason why he explained the crossover being so high was because of the Earth's elliptical orbit with the sun. But the only way you could do that is by dramatically changing the speed of the sun on one side of the ellipse than the other, and so you get really far away, and as it gets really far away, the whole Earth would have to slow down really slow, and then all of a sudden when it comes back, it speeds up real fast and moves around the sun. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And yet we don't feel any kind of change in the G-force there.
Can you go back to the other analemma image just to make a point there? Because you can, for me, at least to my eyes, you can clearly see how the sun is farther away at some points, right?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be able to really appreciate that change at all, I think.
Yeah, it does make sense. That, of course, I don't know if that's something with the camera, but yeah, there's so many problems with this. It's ridiculous. And I think this is the kind of stuff that we need to, focus in on, because otherwise you get people like, Simon Dan, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but he made a new challenge to flat earthers, which is utterly beyond. Did you guys see that by any chance?
Yeah, he's offering like $5,000, which he'd never pay up. He has given no.
Well, he made an impossible condition. I mean, first of all, what people don't understand is, and that's what I was attempting to point out, is you cannot get matching phenomenon in the northern and southern hemisphere, because they're simply not the same.
He wants proof
it's not
for
a
the ball. He wants proof for the ball.
Right.
Desperation, man. Oh my
right.
goodness.
But the other thing that he said in his third and final challenge, which utterly blew me away, that he is this dumb and doesn't get this, but he said, okay, the last thing you have to do is you have to show a model where flat earthers can see the same group of stars from Africa, Australia, and South America all at the same time. And I don't know if anybody told him this, but you can't even do that in the heliocentric model, right? It's not dark everywhere on Earth at the same time, and he doesn't seem to understand that. So his condition for number 3 is impossible, straight up, even if it was a glober.
Wow, I thought he was a specialist in debunking flat earthers.
Nah, he's a script reader. That's all he is. He knows nothing about what he's talking about. It is so obvious, But yeah, when I heard that,
he plays with Legos. I don't know if you've seen that. He does whole shows where he just builds Lego lunar landers.
Oh,
really? I never watch him, so I don't know. But
I heard he is modeling clothes.
No, he's shilling underwear. He tells flat earthers that we're doing things for money. At the beginning of his shows now, he says, and go to this place, and they have the most comfortable honestly, guys, you can trust me. The most comfortable underwear I've ever put on. I'm like, dude. And he follows that up with saying that the Earth's a globe. I'm like, well, I don't believe it's the most comfortable underwear you've ever worn, and I certainly don't believe in your globe. So just keep telling more lies.
Yeah, it's really pathetic. But so yeah, I'm pretty sure, Sideman Dad, that your $5,000 bet is safe, because I'd like to maybe put that same challenge to you. Let's see you do it on a ball Earth, and of course we both know that's impossible, because it's not going to be dark everywhere in the southern hemisphere at the same time where you can make these observations. Yeah. So that's the kind of BS that we have to put up with, but most people, like his low IQ audience, don't know any better. And so they're just going to, yeah, you flat earthers, you're so dumb. Let's see you do that. It's like, oh, whatever, it's really frustrating. What do you do? So anyway, okay. So I had a couple notes here. And some of the other geological deceptions that we talked about, besides the obvious latitude and longitude, being designed for a ball, and it appears now that there's pretty good evidence that the longitude lines are splaying out south in the southern hemisphere. The fact that the sun and the moon both appear to be changing speed, which is impossible in a flat Earth model. But on top of that, you have trolls like Simon Dan that are coming out and claiming false flat Earth models, or flat Earth models that are no better off than a ball Earth model, in being able to demonstrate, viewing 3 things at nighttime that are on 120 degrees apart, essentially.
What I find very annoying is how they say the flat Earth model says this, when there is no such thing that we have. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, there is no such thing as a flat Earth model. I mean, we have pieces and parts that, and a lot of it,
there's different ideas, right? There's different ways of, there's all kinds of ideas, but to make sure we know for sure it's not a ball and there's no curvature and you see too far. Now exactly, like people just jump into the idea that you believe there's an edge and you're going to fall into space and it's flying off, all kinds of nonsense that nobody thinks, and they proclaim that right away when they're trying to. It's always the stickman as I call it.
Straw
Yeah.
man. Straw man.
Straw
argument.
man. I like to call it stick man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they do that all the time. They don't know how to argue, and so they just make up a new argument to fight against.
Yeah. So that, and then of course time zones, putting that on top of it. And it's like, wow, and then of course the armies of trolls that come and, bombard people with stupid things like, oh yeah, flat earth is floating along in space. And even the assumptions they make then, because honestly, if you did take a flat disk and cast a shadow, and I already know this is true because Eero's demonstrated it. All you have to do is have something that's essentially a straight edge, but you could take a straight ruler like Eero's demonstrated and pass it over a true spherical object, and it will cast a round shadow, right? But again, people just buy right into it. Say, yeah, that makes sense. There's no way you could possibly do that. And of course, we're not saying that that's what happens either, but they, again, straw man argument after straw man argument after straw man argument.
No, and the level is really, really low with even the PhD astrophysicists, as we saw with Wendell Watson, Wendell, when they had the big video.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, oh, so why can't you see, that kind of thing? Why can't you see Spain from New York, right, or Portugal, whatever, right? Why are they don't understand the freaking atmospheric conditions and visibility? Like they never driven through mountains.
How far can you see underwater?
Well, the fact that things get smaller at the distance, I don't know why anybody would think you'd be able to see anything from across the Atlantic Ocean. Just the thought of that is ridiculous. You see what happens to buildings like the New York skyline after 60 or 70 miles. The buildings are tiny little dots. So what do you think happens after 2,500 miles? You think you're going to see something? Just look across and see some Ferris wheel or something in Spain from the west coast of the United States? Give me a break.
Yeah, I just think about they have the midnight zone in underwater, and we've got a lot of water in the atmosphere. That's going to create a midnight zone in the atmosphere when it gets so far away from the sun.
Yeah. So crazy stuff. It really is. And, that's what we have to deal with. And, people like Simon Dan and whatever. So anyway, so what do you got coming up next on your next series? What's going to be debunked in the next part of this, Kyle?
Okay. So in chapter 2.3, we're going to be talking about artificial satellites. And then that will wrap up all of chapter 2. And then all of chapter 3 is going to be about maps.
Oh, okay.
We're just going to go right through the whole book. Although I don't know what we're going to do about when we get to oceans, because a lot of that stuff, I'm not really I'm not sure exactly what I'll be disagreeing with in that area, but I don't know. I can always still just look for the places that they just don't provide any support for.
One way to go there is the tides being completely all over the place. Places having no tides and also the depth.
That is good. Yeah, I'm sure they'll talk about that. And so I guess now I've got a reason to focus on the oceans, and I won't just
the depth of the ocean, because it's predicted with the ball that should be. Bob talked about this numerous times. Like in the equator, you should have deeper oceans, but you don't at all.
Yeah, I always love how the book, it talks about how the oceans, the bottom of the oceans, it's mostly flat. And so, at the bottom of the oceans, it's mostly flat. What does that say about the Earth? Mostly flat, right?
Yeah, tectonic plates are known to be absolutely flat. You can track them from one coast of the States to the other coast, the same layers with the rocks and stuff, and they're totally flat. There's many places. It was even mainstream news. Which state in the States, I forget. They modeled the state and they said it was flatter than a pancake.
Yeah, that was
Florida.
Mississippi, Louisiana, or something. It was Florida. All of them.
Yeah, Florida is pretty much the flattest, I think. And speaking of Florida, of course, that's where Austin and Nathan and everybody were, and they went on this fan boat ride, and yeah, that looks like some pretty flat country out there. Sure.
Yeah. There's a reason why they've got so much crazy weather going on over there.
Yep. So, did you guys catch the Mars lander event this week?
No, I didn't watch any of that.
We did.
Oh boy, did we? That
Live on the Thursday show is pretty exciting. Exactly as we expected.
yeah,
Watch it
I couldn't
live?
believe it.
Hmm?
Yeah, you guys watched it live, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
it happened during the middle of the show, so it was pretty funny just to show that nothing took place. And then maybe I'll send a little video clip for you to play in a little bit. Somebody sent me a clip of the launch of that thing, which, I mean, this is how many shows I do. I totally forgot. Somebody's like, do you remember doing this during the launch? And it's Alex and I were talking about the launch, but it's a pretty funny video. And the launch itself, when you look at the distance that it says it is from the ground versus what you can see, it's so funny, hilarious. I'll see if I can find the copy for you.
Yeah, that would be cool. And all right, cool. So it's like I'm trying to get a little organization here, but yeah. So what are some of the other things that you guys can think of, where we get literally buried with obfuscations? This is something that I think about a lot, and unfortunately, what I should do is I should make more notes during the week, while I'm doing this, because I always think about them all week long. It's like, oh God, this is a really good one, and this is a really good one, and of course, show day comes, and I forget about them, but. There are just so many of them that I'm sure you guys think about them too, don't you?
I've been collecting some things like that from physics.org,
Mhm.
and making a selection on a map, like a mind map, and just to give kind of an analysis of what they're doing. They had a piece just recently saying that look what it says. Study in europium in crystals suggests Earth's Middle Ages were a time of flatlands. This University of Technology of China, University found evidence that suggests Earth was mostly flat during its Middle Ages. So they have this idea that it was it was once a ball, it was once flat, and then suddenly it turns into a ball. It's all over the place. Like their theories, they're insane. And that's kind of how you get, they say that evolution slowed down 1 billion years ago. Yeah. Tectonic activity must have slowed dramatically, stopped 1 billion years, all the stuff that they find is like, it suggests this, it suggests that, but they cannot explain this and that. But they say that these cycles that turn this kind of flat Earth into a ball somehow slow down evolution. And I was thinking, it made me think, they have this totally slavish kind of theoretical dependence. It's got this kind of anything goes mix and match approach to scientific storytelling, and then I wonder, can we look into the way they put things together and come up with stories that would sound credible to them? I think we can. We can come up with all kinds of crazy stuff, and it would sound credible to them because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Mix and match.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Jaron, I'm still not up to speed on this stupid tiny URL thing. Can you make a tiny URL for the show today for people to join?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be awesome. I would appreciate that. Okay, very cool.
Wait, can you? I don't have the. Oh, wait, can I? I don't have the join link. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah,
you should, yeah.
Sorry, it's the one I clicked to be here.
Yeah, that you did.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of the other things that he was showing on this was the Indian Pacific Railway running from Sydney to Perth, and that when you add up the sections of the railway and compare it to what they say the width of Australia is, well, again, there is about a 300, almost a 400 kilometer error, right, in the length of Australia, which I found very interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's a mismatch. Is it more or less? Which one is the nautical or the? So you comparing the measurement made by the sea and through land, right? That's the idea.
Yeah, it's 371 kilometers difference, and I think it's longer, but I might be wrong on this. I could have that backwards, but he explained it in here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's pretty interesting, and that's really a good idea to think about using existing, like highways and stuff like that you can actually get, rock solid distances on. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Put it in the private chat.
In the private chat?
I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
I believe there's a private chat. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and take some phone calls. So I'll put this in. Oh, you might want to put it in the. I'll put it in my DLive and my Glowbusters.
Oh, okay.
And you have to put it in your other one. And okay, there's that. And there's that. Okay, so there's a link for you guys to come in and join us if you want to, and come talk to us, and that will be cool. And again, I apologize for being a little disorganized today. I'm not actually feeling the greatest in the world. Been man, I've had such a wicked headache the last couple of days. It's just not been fun. But I really wanted to do a show today because Kyle and Karina were coming on, or at least Kyle was. And thanks, Karina, for keeping the kids quiet. And by the way, I watched a couple of her videos, Kyle, where she was doing one of them with your daughter, where she was doing a CO2 experiment, blowing up balloons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see what the other halves are doing as far as videos.
Yeah.
And we have somebody that has joined us, Kali Rasta 41, I think. Let's go ahead and add you. And how you doing, sir?
What's going on, man? Guys, bless up. It's Kali Rasta 4I too, by the way.
Oh, Kali Rasta. Okay. Well, I couldn't see it too well. So what can we do for you, sir?
A whole lot of people from Southern California.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
hey, brother, if you guys don't mind, man, it's my first time actually joining this show, man. I've been in Southern California my whole life, and I'm 42. I have 3 kids. I mean, I know the truth, and I've been kicked off a couple platforms, brother, just for posting links. And it seems to me like we need a bigger voice and larger platforms, because it's upsetting that so many people just cannot wrap their head around so many proofs and studies, and it's aggravating. Because we have these little backroom, YouTube videos, but to me, it's aggravating.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys pretty much feel the same way. We can talk about everything all day, but it seems like it's going to take something larger to get people to wrap their head around just is absolute proof.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And, that's why, we've got all the censorship and all that stuff going on. And honestly, I'm not even sure that, new platforms that are promising free speech, like, Lighthouse, are even going to do the trick, because as soon as somebody like that comes out, they're going to come up with every reason in the world to shut them down and try and take legal action against them.
That's correct.
That's going to be the game plan. So, I mean, that's the lay of the land.
And it's pretty gnarly that, I can't think of anything, even in my kids' generation, that's going to let anybody go below the 60th South parallel, or, unless things start to change and happen. Just since 2007, since I've started looking into it, there's not been a whole lot. People have went mute that had the biggest voices, so it's aggravating.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's kind of what I was wondering too, because, we've been polled, and apparently, we have this huge demographic of people that actually are flat earthers. And I just keep asking myself, where are all of them? We get a few thousand viewers, on our shows, and it's, like right now we've got 1,000 watching on 1,070, and what else? 211. So about 1,300 viewers that are watching Glowbusters right now. But obviously, that's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. And granted, I do understand that YouTube censors the heck out of us. And by the way, can you mute that? Because I'm getting some really bad feedback from you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, just mute when you're not talking, because there we go. There we go. So yeah, I was wondering where all of them are too, and a lot of people apparently, come to this not necessarily through YouTube. And YouTube, of course, the powers that be want us to believe that YouTube is one of the biggest reasons that everybody is here. And while I think that has some, possibility to it, if there are really as many flat earthers as they're saying that there are, we got to be getting a large part of our audience from somewhere else. The question is where? What do you guys think?
I think so.
I don't know either. I mean, it's getting really tough on YouTube to find anybody. So people are just clamoring for something. But it seems like it keeps growing, even though channels are disappearing. And Simon Dan thinks that that's because flat Earth is dying. Doesn't realize that it's because, of course, YouTube doesn't recommend anybody anymore and completely shadow bans us all.
Yeah, I've got to get all my views. They don't come from people actually searching in the search bar flat Earth, because that just is ineffective. You type in flat Earth and all that comes up is anti-flat Earth stuff. And so people have figured out that there's other ways to do it. And so most of my views end up coming from external sources of other people recommending the show through Facebook, things like that.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, and I would like to know where, because when I before I start the show, I always post a post in Facebook, and I belong to, I don't know, like 20 different flat Earth groups, and I post links in every single one of them. And I would hope that some of them are coming from them at least. Well, I know a lot of them are, but if there's some other place that I could be posting to get more recognition and more eyes on the show, that'd be great. So, did I hear somebody come in? I guess not. That's right. Yeah. So anyway, Kyle Ross, do you have any other questions? Oop, you disappeared. Oh, you went off video, which is fine. Hello, Kyle Rasta. Where did you go?
Looks like he dropped out.
Well, his mic is unmuted, but I don't see his audio anymore. Oh, let me add him to stream.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. Okay, now we got you.
Gotcha. I was talking to myself. I unmuted the mic, but the camera was off, so I didn't know you guys couldn't hear me. No, it's just this whole circulation of it. It's fascinating and it's stimulating. I just wish it would spread further and wider. And I'm starting to think that a lot of the people that disagree with it, they have to. I've spread so much truth and proof that the people, so how adamant they are that it's not true, they have to be trolls. I mean, there's no way. I mean, everyone that I've talked to and I've showed them like unequivocal proof, they're open. So I think a lot of these platforms, they have a lot of people, to me, that are just trolls. And so I'm curious how many people actually are listening and looking and researching and asking questions. And for my children's sake, I hope it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, and for those that are doing it, for a paycheck, and a lot of them are. I mean, we know that there are hundreds of trolls, thousands of them probably. And, even the ones that have been in here for years, they have to know what's going on. And they're either part of these, societies, or they're being paid very well. But, they don't seem to have any conscience about betraying humanity. And that's the part that I really have a hard time getting my head around, that people could, justify this somehow.
Yeah, I in my first week with this content, I had people jumping in my channel writing essays, like vitriolic essays attacking people that I was talking about. And they were, when I talked to Bob about it, I remember, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's a known guy. He does it." Like there's these accounts, the guys that they were jumping on everything that was coming out at the time before the censorship. Even they had armies of trolls, they still have, but. Yeah, I mean, and I think Bob is pretty much convinced that some of these guys are paid to do that kind of work, right? To just come after certain channels.
Yeah.
You go look around on Facebook at the many different kinds of flat Earth channels out there, and you get a lot of different flat Earth channels. Flat Earth groups on Facebook that are.
Hang on a second, Kyle. Hey, Kyle Rossi, can you keep your mic muted until you're ready to talk? Because we're getting a wicked feedback from you. Okay, no problem. Thank you, sir. All right, go ahead and continue, Kyle.
I'm saying that there's a ton of different Facebook groups out there for Flat Earth, and it's crazy just how many of them are set up by the anti-Flat Earthers. They're just there to push their agenda. Does that make sense? You don't get that with any other group. You get that with aliens. You don't get a bunch of people posting fake alien group just to make fun of the alien believers. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Actually, I've been doing some research on exactly that, the difference between the kinds of approaches that you get in different groups. So try to go for instance in Asgardia, right? Asgardia is the most ridiculous thing in the world. It's like a space nation. They have a freaking hymn, they have a constitution, they have a crypto coin, and you know they never get trolled. They don't have people doing that. And in the Brazilian Facebook page that I'm that I'm an editor for, everyone there making comments seems to be there to attack the material. They're there to try to make fun of it. It's really weird. They joined the group to attack it.
Yeah, exactly. And Calarasso, you can go ahead and go now. Sorry about that. Don't forget to unmute.
Well, didn't say anything.
Whoops, are you there? There you go.
No, he's not. He's
Technical
listening.
difficulties.
Kali, we're waiting for you to say something.
Oh, you guys are waiting on my cue. I'm sorry, brother. I'm listening, man. I'm privileged to be backstage. You guys seem like you have a lot more knowledge and you've been in for longer than I have. So I just wanted to show my support. You guys have me on camera. This is all spontaneous, man. So I apologize. I mean, from what you said, brother, I believe every word of it.
Yeah.
Just like that, we've got the Facebook group Flat Earth No Trolls, and it's entirely run by trolls. There's one of them that's actually good, and the other one that's just totally bonkers.
Wow.
I agree. I mean, there's no way that these people are actually go into these pages and just argue with any proofs. I mean, if you didn't believe it, then why? And so you're so adamant. Why would you sit there and enter in all these threads and these videos and just spend all this time just arguing with people? You know?
Yeah. And it's the same people. They don't go away. Like I've been watching it. I keep sharing my videos there on Facebook, and the same people comment. And you're like, oh, you again. Like, you're still here? Like, who does that? Especially if something that you think is totally bonkers and you don't believe in, and yet they just stay there forever and ever and ever. It's just like,
yeah. Or what they did with Nathan Thompson's group. So somebody went on and they created a new group, and then so somebody went on and created another group with exactly the same name, saying exactly the same thing, like if you're not a flat earther, then you don't belong here, and it's nothing but trolls. I mean, it's like, and there's thousands of people in it, which is absolutely unbelievable.
Official discussion, there's like 10 of those groups right now.
Yeah, it's insane.
So I don't know. I mean, I use the Flat Earth Clock app. They have so many good videos and links to almost any aspect of Flat Earth. Anything that they might want to throw out there, you can find a video and a link, and then they'll use the fact that it's a video or YouTube or Facebook or however. But everything in that video, it's not conjecture or hearsay or speculation or opinion. It's all just facts and proofs and tests and studies. And so when you do that, Facebook will hit you with it as spam if you do it more than twice. So it's like they own. I mean, they have a way of getting around the knowledge, the truth is trying to spread, and it's aggravating.
So annoying.
Yeah, really is. So, all right, sir. Well, if you have nothing else, we have another person in chat. So, if you don't have anything else, we'll let you go and pick up the next caller. Whoops, you're muted. Let's unmute. There you go. Oh, okay, he left. He said it was muted. All right, so we have Lee doing my hair.
I didn't expect there to be a camera.
Oh, well, your camera is on. You don't have to have it on if you don't want it on.
Well, it's kind of broken, but whatever. I'm so glad to see you back on again. Me and my son got flat smacked about 6 years ago, I guess. And but then I had in the interim, I got disabled and everything. So I haven't been working, and I've been just working on getting better. And what I want to tell you is that most of I have kids that range from age 20 to age 32, and they're all believers. Like, they don't even go to, they're just so sick and tired of governmental people or whomever that's in authority, lying to them. They don't believe anything. And so, and where the audience is, I don't know. I truly think that YouTube is just changing your numbers, and or anybody else, any other platform that you're on. I think they're just hiding your numbers so you feel discouraged. And we're out here. We're definitely out here. And thanks, Darren, for getting back to me about the app because I'm low on money right now. So I'm going to email Dave. So I just wanted to show support and say we're all out here. There's like more than millions. Well, there can't be more than millions. But yeah, there's like even people like my parents were like, what's the problem? I'm like, what's the big deal? I'm like, so that's it. It took me like half an hour. So because the evidence, and now the evidence is even firmer than it was, in the beginning. I mean, you have to be kind of stupid or, kind of, what do you call it? Brainwashed not to get it at this point.
Yeah.
And you guys are the greatest show on, by the way. I just have to say that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Thanks for doing what you do.
Yeah, that definitely makes it all worth it to hear that. It definitely does. So we appreciate that.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, I have I'm sorry to interrupt you. Whenever I get a newbie, all I do is play Globebusters episodes for them, and it does like all the work for me. You know what I mean? And I can't find them now. So where am I going to be able to? Like I went on BitChute and DLive, and the other one, the library one, and I just can't find any of the newer ones. So
right. Right. And I apologize for that because, I've been in an effort to not have to do multiple uploads. I've been waiting for Lighthouse to come online now.
Yeah.
I did hear from them, and they're saying that right around the first of the month, it looks like they're going to be able to come on again.
Nice.
And if that happens, then everything will be uploaded there. I am one of the beta testers, so we'll get kind of a jump start in being able to upload it. So you will be able to find them there at that point.
So they're definitely done with all their legal work and everything? Like
I believe so. Yeah, they think so, but you never know, because we know that they're going to face opposition. There's just no way that they're not,
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it seems like there's a bigger machine going on than any one of us realized. What happened with Taylor, I mean, it was like Crunch, and Little Guys or whatever. So, but all right, that's pretty cool because I got my parents interested in Lighthouse right away. They're in their 70s, and it's perfect because of the three, platforms that go together. Awesome, just really awesome. So that'll be great. So I'm gonna bag out to finish my hair and just watch the show.
All right, sounds good.
Keep on.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. Take care.
Okay. Bye, Bob.
All right, bye.
Bye, Jaron.
Later. Thanks for calling.
All right. And we have the infamous Zulu One with us. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Hey, guys. I didn't do my hair. Sorry.
You didn't do your hair?
No.
Shame on you.
I just real quick wanted to say I'm glad you're back, too. Love you guys, all of you. And Doucheman Dan, what an asshole. I mean, really, this guy is just so frustrating that people like him and listen to him and think that he's spreading truth. It's so frustrating. So frustrating.
I know. And everything he comes out is just a blatant lie. But yeah, that number 3 was just beyond belief that he would even not realize that you can't have darkness everywhere on earth at once. It's just, geez, how can you not know that?
I've called them on that. I've called them out on that before too.
Have you?
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, ridiculous. You listen to him for 5 minutes and it's just so frustrating.
It's hard to even spend that time in it, right? It's so cringe. It's unwatchable.
yeah, good word. Cringe is like probably the best description.
Yeah,
it really is.
It just drives me crazy because all of his comments are like really, really shallow.
Yeah, horrible.
Yep. But
all right. I again just wanted to say love you guys. March 27th, Solar Return Celebration. Be there or be a loser because it's going to be fucking awesome. Off the charts. Bob's going to be there. Jaron won't be there. That's sad, but Bob will be there. It'll be awesome.
I will be there. And I was just going to plug that. So after we hang up with you and before we pick up Mike, I'll give that a plug real quick.
Awesome. I can't wait to see all of you. I'll be the 6 foot, 240-pound guy jumping up and down, meeting people. Love you.
Awesome.
Love you. All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks.
Shout out to everybody in the chats.
Yep. All right. And speaking of that, this is it at flatearthfestivals.com. If you go there, it will take you to this webpage, which has Karen B in it, and then it has the next Oh, come on, work for me. The next event, which doesn't want to come up for me.
So there's a mailing list that people
Let's
can
just do
sign
it
up
this way:
to?
the solar return.
Bob?
Yeah, there is a mailing list that you can sign up for. So
Where's this
do
next
that.
one going to be held at?
There we go. It finally came up. It's just being a little bit slow. I'm sorry. Say
Where's
again,
this next one going to be held at?
at the same place as Flattoberfest was.
Okay.
At the Masonic Hall, believe it or not, the Masonic Hall in Greenville,
awesome.
South Carolina, which is an awesome place. And those guys were really cool. And they were so accommodating. And of course, they didn't require masks or anything like that. And this is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more centered around arts. I'm not sure if Karen's going to have speakers or anything like that yet, but I know she's going to have musical acts and probably all kinds of exhibits. Cammie and Zach are going to be doing an exhibit there, doing their How the World Works exhibit, which was incredibly popular at Flattoberfest. And so, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But it's at the Greenville Shrine Club and Event Center, and on March 27th, 2021. So if you can make it out there, if you buy an adult ticket and you have kids under 12, I believe that the kids will be admitted for free. So there you go. All right. So let's go ahead and pick up Mike, WA7QZR, and let me bring you in. And how you doing, Mike?
Hey, pretty good, Bob. How about you?
Oh, not too bad. Can't complain. If I did, it wouldn't do any good. So
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sitting up here in the cool breeze and the melting snow, waiting for the sun to get a little closer to the tropic.
yeah. Okay. You're around Seattle, aren't you? Or up in
No,
Washington?
I'm in Washington, but I'm on the east side of Washington in Elk, right up next to the Idaho border, about 25 miles north of Spokane.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's beautiful country up there. I really like Washington a lot. If it didn't rain quite so much, it'd be awesome, but it is beautiful up there.
Yeah, well, it doesn't rain much over here, but when it snows, we get lots of snow. I really was really enjoying you guys talking about the Alameda and the sun and the moon earlier in the program. You know, I noticed that I don't know, quite some time ago, and I kind of tested it to take, you know, a small tennis ball and a large tennis ball and put strings on them and then just hook them to a stick and spin it around. And the shorter the string gets, the faster the tennis balls rotate, and then you let the string out and they slow down. So it's like the sun and the moon are on a tether around the North Pole.
That'd be a really cool thing to take a video of, just to show that.
Yeah, it's really easy. I don't know. I could do one and find some place to put it. I've pretty much removed myself from Facebook, and my YouTube channel is hidden, but I'm still on a lot of the other platforms. So I could do a thing like that. Just a real simple little observation.
Really? So you hit your YouTube channel for any particular reason?
I don't know. It was too easy to get on comments and argue with people. I got tired of arguing with people. So I says, why not just turn this off and make all the comments go away? And I don't know, in a couple of weeks I'll probably turn it back on, and then I try to exercise a little more self-control when I'm on YouTube.
Yeah. No,
it can be difficult for sure.
It's so frustrating sometimes. People get on there and they start talking the unbelievable amount of BS, and I just
and they come back again and again.
I just
waste your time.
Yeah, it is. It's a waste of time, and I've got so many things going on out here on the farm that I just don't. I don't really have time to sit down and do that sort of thing. Like when I lived in town and I had nothing to do with myself, that was, I don't know, kind of fun, I guess. But I would rather spend my time doing more productive things, like making a video of tennis balls spinning around a pencil.
There you go. So, so just out of curiosity, Mike, have you ever done any QRP work at all?
Quite a few times I have. I just the HF rig that I use primarily is a Kenwood TS440S, and I can turn that thing down to about 100 milliwatts of output power on single sideband, and on 40 meters, I can get 500 miles real easy on that using a horizontal antenna. Right now, all I have is a G5RV. But
Are you aware of any ley lines that are in your proximity of where you are at all?
No, all that stuff goes around me. I've got the ley line overlays for Google Earth, and they go everywhere but around me.
Yeah,
it's kind of like I'm insulated from everything that's interesting. We don't have UFOs that fly over here, and very seldom does a meteor go by. It's just boring.
Well, you're not that far from Mount Adams, though, are you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Are
It's yeah. Well, from the crest of the Cascade Mountain Range, I'm, as the crow flies, about 230 miles east of there.
Okay.
So I'm right next to Idaho. I can look out my my workshop window here, and I can see the Hoodoo Mountain over in Idaho. So it's
the Grand Teton.
Yeah, it's
that's cool. I always wanted to take a trip to Mount Adams because there's a guy there. His name is James Gilliland, and he has this ranch that it's amazing. And there's tons of video and lots of people that I know that have gone there, speakers. But for whatever reason, it seems like he will invite people out to the property, and then on command, he can get these UFOs to do flyovers and do all kinds of weird stuff. And I mean, there's tons of video of stuff on this. I mean, I'm just fascinated by it.
Who is this, Bob? Who is this?
His name's James Gilliland. And
is that the ranch, the kind of crazy ranch?
Yeah, it's a something ranch. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, all you have to just Google James Gilliland, and this all comes up there. But I mean, there is so much video, and it's amazing because I've actually had friends that have gone there, and the stories they've come back with are just mind-boggling. That these things literally perform on demand for this guy. It's crazy. So it's just something I have no idea what's going on there, but I'd love to see it.
That would be interesting because, I mean, I'm 65 years old and I have never seen a UFO. Never.
Oh, man.
It's kind of like these things just avoid me. I don't know. Maybe I don't bathe enough or something. Just don't want to be around me. But we do more interesting things anyhow. Like maybe they don't like my firmament tests that I do or something. I try and bounce microwaves and long waves and laser beams off the firmament, trying to figure out if there's anything that I can generate down here that will reflect off of it, that will that I can actually test. I can when I send a radio signal to the East Coast or to Europe or something, I know it's reflecting the ether perturbation is reflecting off of the firmament, but I can't really observe it and test it the way I would like to. But it keeps me out of the bars and away from fast women, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
A while back, on the note of UFOs, they did the whole Storm Area 51 thing where 3 million people said they were all going to go storm Area 51. I actually went to that. It was really fun. Yeah. I didn't see any UFOs, though. I'm not a UFO believer or anything like that. But I wanted to go to that just to help support the cause for government transparency.
Yeah. Well, this is one of those things. It's supposed to be an absolute guaranteed. In fact, he says that they've had they've never had a time where they didn't show up, or if they did, it was so rare that it's almost unnotable. But when there are people that are your friends that go there and see that, it's really intriguing. And of course, I've seen several UFOs myself.
In Denver.
But yeah, in Denver, well, even before that, in Denver and other places. But the ones that I saw from our hot tub, at our house in Denver, match very closely the TR3B descriptions,
Triangles?
So,
the triangle with the square, the Masonic square kind of thing.
What is that?
That's my stupid phone.
Oh, okay.
Let me,
I was like
let
checking on
me
my
mute this thing. Ah,
Yeah.
You,
So we get all these different observations of strange things up in the sky, and yet people are saying, "Oh, well, satellites prove this and satellites prove that." I'm just like, there's so much technology that we just don't even know about when it comes to, just flying things in general.
I was gonna say, Bob, that's Trout Lake, right? That's the place, East Seti Ranch.
Yep, East Eddy Ranch at Trout Lake. That is correct.
That's lots of videos on. There's lots of documentaries.
Yeah, it is a complete trip. So yeah, just something that I'm interested in. Of course, I still believe the majority of those things, if not all of them, are our own anyway. I don't know if there's little green men running around driving those things, but even if they are ours, then why is it that this guy seems to have such a command over him? Unless this is just some other major psyop, I don't know.
Could be. Is
Well,
he involved with what's his name, the other disclosure project doctor?
Some of them, yeah.
Greer.
So it wouldn't surprise me.
Right. Yeah, I know. Do you know? Stellium 7. He knows someone who was involved in that documentary that Stephen Greer had about the alien from Atacama, the Atacama Desert alien.
The little mini one?
Mini one, yeah. And he says that this guy told him that he was embarrassed to have being part of it. He had been, this guy, he told us that he had been an asset in the CIA, and he was there to pretend that he was a scientist doing, and he regretted it later. Because a total psyop is like the whole thing is totally fake.
Oh, that's crazy. Not surprising though. So
yeah, so much of that stuff going on.
Yep.
Well, listen, guys, that phone call was my wife. She's probably home with my meat lovers burrito, so I'm gonna get out of here and go get that thing and eat it, and then come back down here and finish listening to the show. But Bob, if you ever do go up and visit that guy at Mount Adams, drop me a note, and I'll drive over there and we'll meet.
Hey, that sounds like a plan, because I really would like to do that. So
yeah,
it's a cool idea, getting there and ask him some hard questions, see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll bring my video camera with the steady cam, and we'll see if we can catch him on video.
Yep. Well, lots of people do. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. In fact, he damn near guarantees it. So
yeah.
So that's cool. All right, Mike. Well, thank you for stopping by, and we will catch you next time.
Oh yeah, thanks for picking me up, and we will we'll talk to everybody later. Everybody have a good afternoon or evening or whatever it happens to be, wherever you happen to be.
Later, Mike.
Okay, we'll see you.
Mike.
Bye.
All right, so let's move over to flatearth.life and bring him in.
Hello.
And you are with us. How you doing?
Very well. I wanted to talk for a long time with you, Bob. I'm trying to bring up more awareness on the flat earth community about the fact that one of the most important things that they disalign us from nature is the fact that the mount, the calendaristical mount, was following perfectly the moon phases. This is how the calendar was created. The Chinese are still celebrating the so-called Spring Festival, which is actually the true calendar, the one that was created after the moon phases. Before there were 13 months in the year, and basically the new year was when the Spring Festival happened in China on 12 February. So not very long ago. So we should try to celebrate that somehow. I mean, we should try to align in a way with it and see what else we can take out of it. I think it's very, very important for some reason.
I'm a big proponent of this kind of trying to go by a completely different calendar and dropping the calendar.
Exactly. There were 13 months before. Let's try to check more about the Chinese calendar and the old Chinese calendar and try to follow up that one, because it's very, very important. We were in alignment with the nature, and they did everything to take us out of it. They even changed the musical notes frequency. So these people are fucking psychopaths.
Yes.
Yeah, they are. And, and that's one of the things, David always says, DITRH, he always talks about them being the month, like the month being the month.
In Romanian, the word moon it's Luna, and the word mount, it's Luna.
Right.
Oh,
And
well,
in
there you
English,
go.
and in English you have the lunar la la la. I think
Lunar
you have.
month or something. Or no?
Well, and month comes from moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very,
Absolutely.
very important. We should follow up this one because it's a big one, and it should be like the flat Earth day. Basically, it's our new year
Yeah,
in a
make a
way.
whole new calendar and celebrate your own idea,
Yeah.
your own things.
Yeah, let's say on the David Flat Earth app, let's say you'll make a 13-month calendar that will follow up the old Chinese calendar, and it's enough to just take a look at the widget daily, at the
It's a
app
great
daily
idea.
to see what's the phase of the moon and just follow it up. Basically, in the past, people look at the sky at night and said, okay, there are 13 phases, 13 cycles of the moon in a year. Let's spread the calendar in 13 months. It was perfectly logic.
Absolutely. And there's a guy that wrote a lot of books on the Mayans, Jose Arguelles, I believe is his name, and one of the books he wrote was called Time in the Technosphere, and it's basically all about how all the time cycles are being changed to put us in synchronicity with a technological type of society instead of a natural one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the
I
weekend.
bet they even changed the name of the colors. A few years ago, I've told to a friend, dude, I don't believe even the reason why the clouds are in the sky. And since then, that stuck into my mind, and it's true. Even the reason for which the clouds are in the sky is not the real reason.
Probably has more to do with electricity than they tell us.
Exactly. Totally. And I've even done a test. I've used my air compressor, and I've put water with a lot of salt, and I've blow it through the compressor as a cold fog in the house. And it took like an hour to go away, that cold fog from the house. It was incredible. I had all the windows and doors open and nothing. It was still there. Water with a lot of salt blown through an air compressor.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
I have two
amazing.
more things to say.
Okay.
Another one, it's crypto. Right now, YouTube pushes hugely the crypto channels. There are crypto channels that before they had like 50,000 users like 9 months ago, and now they have 500,000 users. So clearly, YouTube wants for the regular people to put their money in crypto. So I'll say just wait for the blood to be on the streets and then buy crypto.
Interesting.
I've brought a Ethereum miner at the beginning of the month. I paid secondhand. I've paid around $1,750 on it. I've mined for 3 weeks. I've mined $400, and I've sold it with $1,000 more yesterday. So I've made a profit of basically I have the return on income in basically 2 weeks and done 70% on top of that.
Wow.
And right now I've ordered another type of miner, which all the flat earthers should look into it because it has a strategical importance for us. It's a helium miner. This is how they are named. They are mining helium, and basically this is a different concept. Instead of proof of work or proof of stake, it uses proof of coverage, in which your miner, it's actually an access point, but instead of broadcasting Wi-Fi, it broadcasts LoRa. LoRa, it's long range. It's a technology that uses a special type of modulation that allows you to identify a signal even if it's much less than the background noise. For example, 100
radio,
millimeters. Yes. So basically, you are offering coverage for IoT devices. Agenda 2030 requires total surveillance through the LoRa network. So basically, we are playing at the devil's gates, but at the same time, when we decide that this equipment is used more against the people, we can just sign off the helium network and make it to mesh network, regular disaster radio, because LoRa is basically used for disaster radio.
Wow.
And these miners right now are earning huge money because the coin started in like September. and right now it got to $4.3. But the miners, on 1st August, it will be a halvening. So until then, the rewards are very big. For example, I live in Romania, and in my where my parents are living, I live outside Bucharest. My parents are living in Bucharest, and I looked on Helium map. You can check out in your region what nodes there are and how much they earned with what nodes they connected. So go on helium.com and scroll down a bit, and you'll see Explorer or map, something like this, and check your area, because you can discover that there are a few nodes around. And the idea is for the nodes to be further than 300 meters in order for the mining to count, to receive rewards for the proof of coverage.
This is great. I'm taking a look at it. This is pretty insane, like the website.
I've looked in my parents' neighborhood. It's somebody that makes like $10,000 amount with the equipment that costed $400 to buy.
Wow. I was going to
Yes.
ask you what the equipment cost was,
Yeah.
because, you know, I used to mine.
If you go to the website, they have all the equipment there. You buy it ready to go. You mount it to the side of your house, and it starts collecting crypto.
Exactly, and the signal power is like 100 milliwatts, so it's no danger there. It's not like 5G or something. And I've ordered 6 of them. I'll have to wait like a month or 2 until they arrive, but I should really get into business with it. And the idea is that the more people are entering in this thing, the smaller the rewards will become, but the value of the coin will go up. And this infrastructure is absolutely critical for the psychopaths. So let's go with it. Whoever wants to go with it, let's go with it, because it won't fall as a crypto, because it's actually a network that it's very useful and they need it. And later on, when it will be used against the people, let's just make it open mesh network without signing through the Helium.
Oh God, this is I have it right next to close to where I live.
That's
Exactly.
amazing. Because, you know,
Nice spot.
I mined Bitcoin a lot, you know, for a few years, but the miners, of course, as they got more and more complex,
Yeah.
the price became obscene, you know. So I eventually stopped, but at one point I had like 14 miners running in my house. And
Wow, nice.
yeah, it was crazy. I didn't, in the wintertime, you know, even if it was 15 degrees below zero, I didn't even have to turn on the heater because the miners totally kept the house warm. In fact, I had to open the windows even. So
Yeah, my miner was using 670 watts, so not very much heat, but it was enough to keep a room better than usual. And the last thing I want to know, so so I close the call, is I don't know about aliens. I do not believe in them at all. They're a total psyop from my point of view. When I was little, at some point, I went at my parents' window and saw on the cloud like 3 lights spinning. Like my hair was like up on my back when I've seen it. But my father came and just said there are 3 lights reflector. They're playing with it. It's now UFO, and in that second it come back. Yeah, indeed you are right. And secondly, I have a DJI Phantom 4 Pro drone, and I've tuned it software to be much more powerful. And believe me, if you see it how it moves, you will say that it's a UFO, even though you just saw it that it's a drone.
really, and as a Mavic
Yes.
Mavic 4, that's the same one that David's got.
Phantom. Phantom.
Oh, the Phantom. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Wow,
But I've tuned it to software. I've modified, for example, at the acceleration before was inclining at 45 degrees. Now it's inclining at 60 degrees. It was going up with 4 meters a second. I put it to go up with 8 meters a second. It was going down with 4 meters a second. I put it to go down with 10 meters a second. Basically, it's free falling. It's like a fighter plane. If you push forward and up in like 5 seconds, it disappears from a 4K camera. You cannot see a pixel left of it.
Wow, that's wild. Very cool.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let you go, guys.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks for the call in, and I'm definitely going to look into that. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
Yes.
now.
And please propagate the news about the new year. It's like the most important thing for the flat earthers. Let's go back to the nature in a way.
It's interesting.
Your name sounds familiar. Do you got a YouTube channel?
No. I've called like 3 times, 4 times before here.
He's called before, yeah.
Yep, okay. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Okay.
You have a great
Thank you.
evening.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye. All
Interesting.
right.
They have something called. Have you heard of this, Bob? Something called long-fi instead of Wi-Fi, or they call it long-fi. It goes 10 miles.
Yeah, that's interesting. I got to look into that because I honestly hadn't heard of any of that. So that's something new. So all right, let's go ahead and bring in Martin Liedtke. And hey, Martin, how you doing, sir?
Martin, what up? Long time.
Uh-oh, you there? You're muted, Martin.
It will remain a long time.
Let me see if I can unmute.
Muted. I've been
There you
go. Fantastic, Bob. Thanks. How are you?
Oh, we're doing just hunky-dory. Well, besides my headache, but other than that, I'm doing hunky-dory. It's a nice day here.
Fresh lemons. Fresh lemons are brilliant for a headache. Have that.
Yeah, I've heard that. And I probably try that. Usually I just get a cold pack and stick on the top of my head. I don't get headaches that often, but man, when I do get them, they smart. So, you know.
Same. So, I want to talk about YouTube censorship and surviving the year on YouTube and not like waking up one morning and finding everything has gone.
Right.
And basically something Jaren said earlier about where is everybody? I feel that Flat Earth has exploded out there. I just feel it's YouTube that's suppressing it and shadow banning us and everything else. I'm adding, like, on Instagram, it's literally like hundreds of people a day, all brand new, all eager, brand new Flat Earthers. So it's every day another 100, another 100. And like, where are all these people showing up from and why aren't they on YouTube? And then they don't follow me back to my channel. Now, not a good start to the year with my channels. I had, soon as I mentioned Flat Earth, okay, guys, you can hear me, can you?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Yeah.
Cool. As soon as I mentioned Flat Earth, I did a post where there was a bit of a mess up on basically the documentary Operation High Jump with Admiral Byrd, where a general or an admiral had slipped up with the size of Antarctica, and the coastline of Antarctica. So I called that out, basically, and I'd lost 2 channels because I said that or posted that for 3 months. So I'm left on my one last channel now. I have a backup for this. So I just basically been looking for ways or seeking ways to not wake up and lose everything one morning and lose my entire community, which would be devastating because it's getting quite large. So
yeah, you kind of had that happen once already, right? When somebody hijacked your channel and put all those videos on it.
Yeah. Well, this is the channel that I started on this channel. Can you remember when I made the first post on this channel, my new one now, Martin Liedtke?
Right.
You did it. You played it on Globebusters and helped me start off again. So I do thank you for that. Appreciate that.
No problem.
So, yeah, that was about 15, 16 months ago. So I've just been building up from zero again. But I got my other channels back. Just a long contrived story of really weirdness. Anyway, so I've been working on a way to prolong the longevity of my content, Flat Earth Britishness, and my community. So I've been doing work with another sort of format, not DLive, not YouTube, not any of them, something completely different, which in 1 year's time is going to completely take out the opposition, which is mainstream media. It's uncensored, okay? And I've been 2 years in this development with working with this product, but it came to the conclusion only yesterday, so now I can talk about it. Anyway, I've been talking about it with a lot of the big content providers in YouTube. They are going there. All you can do is just the same old thing, is just upload all your stuff directly. As soon as you make a YouTube video, straight over to this format. It's uncensored. The only way it's ever going to be censored is if they make a new law, which basically suppresses any freedoms on that format. Okay, that's the only way. But that could take years. So it's free. You can say what you want. You will never get banned. And it is really, really knock spots of YouTube. You know how YouTube has gone backwards, how we all had the Google Hangouts and everything else and all these different things attached to YouTube. And now you can't even navigate it. You know, it's just so contrived. You know, they're messing around with the AdSense, as you all know.
Yep.
So, I've asked a few of the big channels. They're coming over as well onto that new format. That's like next month. guys, you're welcome to come over and try this thing yourself. What would attract you to it? Probably that they're offering a share in this business. So I'm involved in it. I've been for 2 years in this development. It's a fantastic product. So yeah, because I don't want to wake up and find I've lost everything, my life's work since 2015 of flat earthness, to wake up and find out all of it's gone, and I never made any provisions to survive.
Right.
So that's what I've been up to. But yeah, YouTube are really on top of us, guys. Really bad. The comments, they're suppressing them. It said 23 on my last video. When I went to straight away check my comments, it said 23, and there were 2 comments being shown.
Yeah,
and
I can't even comment on my own channel half the time.
People
YouTube suppresses my own comments.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It is, guys. It's insane at the moment. If you go straight to analytics, it's nowhere near what it's showing on the view screen. It's they say it catches up, but it never catches up. It's just so it's flat earthers. It's flat earth. They are really. It's YouTube and us. They are suppressing us.
Yeah. Well, they did tell us they were going to do that, so
Well, I remember when she said it a year ago. She was true to her word, evil woman.
Yeah, that's probably one of the only times they've ever been honest about anything.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why when I'm doing my Modern Earth Science Destroyed series, I'm really trying to avoid saying the word flat earth, because I don't want that little tag at the bottom to mess everything up. And so I'm just saying censored earth, and I just focus on everything they're saying and then just destroy their stuff.
Censored earth, it's great.
It's good one.
So Jaren had the one True Earth, right? Remember that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still like that. If I had to do everything all over again, I would definitely change that approach, because it's definitely turns off a lot of people, and you can kind of slow drip them that truth, but for some people, they're just not ready for it.
Yeah, so it's that's the
Very,
strategy.
very
It's
triggering.
an analytical experiment to see the difference between how the content is received, and I've noticed that I get a lot more impressions with the stuff without the little tag underneath saying flat earth content warning,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, that sounds awesome, Martin. I'm definitely interested in it because, like I said, I fully expect...
They're all going on. They're like, Max is interested. I spoke to him about a year ago with it. Like, all the big channels, UAP's interested, other people. But, it's just an option for us. And it is fantastic, guys. I'm getting like new apps, like they're giving me this company to go with it. One is already up on Apple, and the other one's out next month. So there's all like super fantastic things attached with it as well, guys.
What's the app name?
Honestly, just for all of us, the flat earthers in general, because they are just stifling us, guys. And this truth needs to get out, and there are more out there. Honestly, this thing is exploding. And my field as well, the alternative history, it's just getting massive.
So is this an app that you're describing that you've made to help combat the censorship?
Indeed, it's censorship free. I'm looking for a way to basically connect all my community because, because of this COVID, I'm having a lot of emails, people in a right suicidal state, literally in a lot of cases. So they rely on the community for somebody to speak to, so nobody's alone. So
is this online right now?
Yeah, it's on Apple at the moment. I haven't actually checked it because I haven't got Apple. But it's out on 1st of March, I think it is. My one on Android. So I'll be Flat Earth British app. But, like they got some people might not be popular with it, but it's fantastic for what I want to do, especially with activism and things coming up now in the spring, because I'm definitely going to be getting involved in a bit of that. Is a locator, like they got the dating app. The Flat Earth dating app, where you can find another flat earther or something in a local area.
Right.
So everyone in my community, or Flat Earth British community, would be able to find somebody else, basically all the people in my chat feed, in their local community. And say I'm on a documentary, or I'm just filming at a castle or something, and I need to find something out and get somebody to find this out, like literally join a call. Everyone can be in a call together. So say I got X amount 100 in my chat, these same people can talk to one another FaceTime, and I can jump in at any time and join them. It's a really attractive thing for my people, for my community. And, it is all about community at the end of the day with me, so that is something that, I think should be pushed through. I'm going with it anyway, whatever. And I know people see where this is going. To me, it's the way it's all going to go, because I tell you what, it's embarrassing for YouTube, and it's going to make them look more retarded than they already are. They're going to look so out of pocket. You know, everyone's just automatically bouncing to DLive, Library, all these other formats, you know. And YouTube, in my mind, they're definitely owning them. You know, they're not like him, you know, going to cut off their arm, are they? So it's all just, you know, CBS and newsreels. You know, they know these people are going to touch these other formats. They're just subsidiaries of YouTube. This is obvious to me. So this new media is absolutely nothing to do with Google and YouTube whatsoever. You know, it's completely of that, complete freedom of speech as well, which is important, because I'm sick of, you know, vetting my speech, guys, and what I say on my live events. You know,
it's violence. It's violence to your mind, right?
Oh, it's awful. You know, I want to speak my mind, and I'm thinking, oh God, like, can I say that? Like my channel just going to disappear? Because that can happen. I've had life; it's just gone black. The screen's gone black because I've said something. Where they're watching you real time. Right. No, we're not having you say that. Off. So
yeah.
Really bad YouTube.
Well, I'm definitely interested in hearing more about it, Martin. So if I can,
I'll send the link for the media.
Okay.
I don't mention the name just yet, because basically it's a week ahead of time. But have a look through, Bob. It's absolutely fantastic. The you know, it's so engrossive and easy to navigate. But it's like, if you get into one subject and you click it, it comes out in this like tree of other information that goes really deeper and deeper, and it's all alternative. So it's alternative news, alternative media, alternative medicine, alternative free energy. Everything that we talk about, guys, is included in this website. It's completely, you know, revolutionary in my eyes. It's where it's going to go. You know, instead of all this cat on a box getting 100 hits, doing a silly 100,000 hits, somebody doing a stupid shuffle dance. Yeah. 500,000 hits, man. But the deepest truth in humanity, just scraping along. Which is really weird. So
the biggest thing that we can do to help fight censorship is just build that unity within the community. That's the thing that's holding us together. That's the glue. Building that unity.
Put the unity back in community.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, won't keep going along. You got to have a call this properly. Globebusters, much love to you all.
All right. Cheers, Martin. Love you, sir.
Much love, guys. See you soon.
Okay. Take care.
I'll send a link over anyway. You'll see this. You'll love it.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And Iru joined us. I'm going to unmute you, Iru, because I don't know if you can unmute yourself. But yes, are you there, Iru?
I know how to use the software. So
okay.
Thank you so much for, you just.
Well, I wasn't sure if I muted you, if you could unmute yourself. That's the only thing I wasn't sure about. So, but when I brought you on, there was a lot of background noise, so I muted you. But anyway. So hello, Iru. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Hello, guys. I was arriving to Argentina, and I'm trying to reconnect with my friends, my family.
No quarantine.
Maybe you hear a noise in the background. It's the fan that I turn it on, because here it's completely insane, the hot that we have, and I am not have any conditioner air or something like that in my house. So I'm sweating like an astronaut in an interview. What?
No deodorant as well?
No what?
No deodorant?
No, man. Well, you know how it is Argentina. I need to get back to Switzerland quickly.
Okay.
So sorry for my delays and my absence in the last few shows. I was a little messy. I need to make the PCR test to take the flight and all that
kind of. To do all that stuff.
Stress. Yes. I have a little fortune, because a doctor near to the Linda's house has like a protocol to. They give you the PCR test, but they are not putting the swab in your nose. They just collect saliva, but they make like if it was from the nose. So you have that one step already. Avoiding the nose technique,
right.
And of course, yes, of course, they in Switzerland has a cost of $160. That test you need to make it. Yes, it's very, very expensive. It's not so much different from the rest of Europe. If you go into Germany, you're gonna pay like $100, something like that, and then you need to make that test 72 hours in the range of the 72 hours before the flight. I did it 24 hours before, but then they still squish your pocket because 4 hours before taking the flight, you need to do a quick test. And unfortunately, it's all, $60 US more. And you need to do in some kind of qualified place, like a pharmacy or something like that. And that was a very, not
What a
so much
racket.
comfortable because,
Pain in the ass.
the nose this time, I need to use my nose.
Oh, you had to
It's
do
a
the
little
nose.
strange. Yeah, it's not the big swab or the big stick that put you on your nose. In your nose, it's just like a little one, but you feel, during 3 seconds that strange heat in the top of the forehead. It's a very strange thing, and then you keep that feeling like 3 hours, and after that, I went to the airport. I take a flight from Basel to Amsterdam with only 6 people in the plane. So say goodbye to the industry of flights, at least the domestic flights in Europe. So Davos was right, was right, but they planning and they are executing
Planning well.
that part.
Executing
Yes.
the plan.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then take a flight from Amsterdam to Argentina with the 50% of the flight with all the protocols and blah blah blah, and then I arrived safely and trying to reconnect again with my friends. 6 months outside of my house was for me the first time that I was very much.
Yeah, that was a long trip.
It's a long trip. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Well, cool. Well, we're glad you're joined with us. Let's go ahead and pick up another caller while we have you here with us. Dom has been waiting here very patiently. So let's go ahead and bring in Izu1220, which I believe is Dom. And how you doing, sir?
How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? I'm outside on my way to work. So I don't know if you can hear me or not. Is it loud?
Yep,
All right,
I hear
well,
you.
Listen, my friend Jawad's sister just came from India. They're actually Farsi. She works for a company in India. She's over here studying American culture. They change opinions. It's actually a very small company in India. She was very vague about it. She didn't want to give me too much information. But I'm going to be here for, I think, the next 6 months. So I'll be pumping her for information. But they're on just making comments, and they're hired by U.S. Well, I don't know if it's U.S. It's what do you call it? Advertising firms throughout the world to go on there and make posts on Facebook, Twitter, all these sites. But that's what she does.
Yeah,
it's insane.
No surprise.
So anyway, I mentioned I was talking to my buddy about flat Earth, and she said, "Oh, you're a flat earther," and I asked her, what we were talking about. I said, what do you change? Are you on there making the flat Earth comments? They actually lost the account to someone else. They actually had the account at one time and lost it to another company.
Wow. Yeah. So I knew we weren't crazy.
No,
it was obvious it was happening.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. But that's what they do.
But that's what they do.
It's a propaganda war.
Yep.
Yep.
And they
but
can't
I
play
would
fair.
definitely be getting more information from her. She told me the company's name. No, she told me the company's name, but I didn't know. It's something I don't understand. It. I'll have to write it down or something because it's like an Indian name. But I thought that was insane. But she's over here. That's what she's over here doing. Understanding, studying the culture, so she can make better memes and better. And she actually does training. She trains people. Oh my God! I'm gonna get hit by a car. That's what she does. She trains these people in India to write comments on social media.
Wow.
So
there you have it.
That's all basically. All
Okay.
right.
Well,
and I will get the company's name, and I will call in. I'll get as much information about it as I can, and I'll let you guys know.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we appreciate it, Dom, for the information. Like I said, it's not a surprise, and it was obvious to me. So, but you just confirmed it. So, thank you very much.
All right. Everybody have a good day.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right. And we have Fratter.life back with us again real quick, I guess. So we'll see what he's got, and then we're probably going to start wrapping it up here. So Fratter.life, hello,
Can you
you are
hear me?
back. Yep.
Yes, I wanted to say something. I've read that the testation that is done with the stick in the back of the throat, it's actually touching the blood-brain barrier.
Yes.
Exactly where is the pituitary gland,
Messed up.
which is a huge one. I mean, they do something. It's an inoculation. It's not a testation.
Yeah, exactly. I have been hearing that also, that part of the inoculation was the test itself. So, but
exactly,
it's just
Yeah.
scary. It's very scary.
Makes it. Indeed.
So-
That's all I wanted to say. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Flat Earth life. Oh, sorry.
Flat Earth life. All right. Cool. Well, so there you have it. You'll have to let us know if you start feeling anything weird over the next 3 to 6 months.
Yes,
And
man. That was something that
6 feet of distance, please.
well, we have a few thousand of kilometers right now, but
It's good. That's good buff.
That's good, that's good. But no, that is something that I started. For example, in Switzerland, I met a guy that works with a close person that buy swab test, and supposedly the swab tests are rigs, and you have some of the swab tests that give you positive or negative. Of course, I read also the smart DAS or the nanotechnology involved in that kind of test too, and it's a little worry. And who knows, really?
Yeah. Well,
they have a lot of different techniques, tactics, and they can do a lot of things. That is the scary thing.
Yeah, I know. It is scary too. And just it's scary, it's depressing, and this world it's just in a world of crap right now, and it's hopefully something will change. But we're doing the best we can do.
There's going to be the world is going to change, that's for sure. But I think that more than ever, the only positive change it's only came from people like this community and one itself. It's not anymore in the hands of a few politicians or institutions. And of course, I know that the people that follow this type of channels already know that, but unfortunately, the rest of maybe your close family, they still waiting for something to happen to recover the old world, and that's forget about it.
Yeah,
you need to build your new world if you want to see.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's coming to save us.
Well, no, but the last thing that I heard is that this time is 12th of March. The military is going to take control of Washington, and 12th. Before I leave Switzerland was the 4th of March, but in the plane, in my flight, they take 8 days later. Now it's 12.
Whose day is a QAnon thing?
Yes, it's a QAnon thing.
Okay.
If it's not March, it'll definitely be in April.
Yeah,
right. Definitely,
and then May.
Definitely July. Definitely
Yep.
July. No more than September, man.
Yep.
Hey, listen to me.
January
2023 is done.
2022.
Okay.
The Mayan calendar was actually wrong. It was actually supposed to be
Yeah.
2023.
Every year you can
Yes,
update it.
exactly.
Update it every year.
Coming. It's
Yep.
right around.
Yep.
They use the Vedic calendar. That is why we don't understand.
Yep. That's the whole up and down ride that they've been putting everybody on. It's just it makes you crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It really is.
Might
So,
be the psyop of all time, to be honest.
yeah. You got to wonder which one's bigger. You know,
Yeah,
real Earth or this. You know, I don't know, but
well, I think they might even have something to do with each other. To be honest with you, so
yeah, I definitely think they do. Yeah, for sure. So, okay, and what is this Odyssey?
well, that's if you want to play that later. That's just a scene from one of the shows we did 6 months ago, the launch of the rover that went to Mars. But somebody sent it to me and said, you know, because at the beginning of the show, Alex makes a prediction that it will land perfectly and that we'll only see one. It's kind of funny because it's exactly what we saw. But that part, if you started at 10 minutes or so, and you can just play maybe on the way out, because when you watch the launch and you pay attention to how far it's going and how high it says it's going, or maybe Euro would want to see, I don't know. I've never seen anything more clearly bullshit. So this is the problem, is that everybody sees these launches, Red's Rhetoric, all these people who go see them, and they all say the same thing, right? How could it be fake if we see these launches? And when you see the little thing on the bottom of the screen tell you how high it's supposed to be as it takes off, you know it's bullshit. You know that the only reason people are believing any of that is because of that little digit thing, which anybody could make. You could make it, I could make it. What really is the truth is that thing's probably 10 miles in the sky, or maybe 5, and they're telling people just the most ridiculous, unheard of nonsense ever.
That's crazy. So I'm gonna start it, and then
the speeds that keep going up and up and up, even after he lands, some of the numbers continue to move. The whole thing is a total joke.
This one, it like even after, so it like levels off right at the well. First it's going 45, right? Then it levels off, and the numbers keep flying up. So it just keeps going up and up. And I think we start talking about 10 minutes, probably, Bob. But anyway,
about 10 minutes in. Okay.
It's a rocket. It's just a rocket that. Well, I remember that we present in one of the old shows in your channel, Gerald. We present a view from the top of the Chinese prototype of rocket launch, and you can see clearly how it, the curves at the beginning and then stabilize and start, going away in the straight path until just reach out of your view, and that it doesn't. It is not more than that. It's just a rocket, a missile, a plane without wind going away from your view.
Yeah.
Yep. So should I kick in the sound at some point, or?
Sure, if you want, just to see it launch, and then it's maybe 5 minutes worth of something interesting. But yeah, is the sound not working? Oh, there it goes.
No, just turn it up.
Levels off. It continues going parallel for a certain amount of time, and then it will start heading down. Now, there's a lot of ways you can prove this to yourself. Take a pencil or pen and hold it up above your head and kind of out in front of you, and check what it looks like when it's heading level. Oh, I wish I could see my screen. I'll do it after because I can't see my camera right now. But if this is level from the camera, if it's heading up, it's going to look like that. If it's heading down, it's going to look like that. Anyway, I have to be able to see this camera to figure out if I'm showing you correctly, which we will do here in a second. We're 45 seconds away from this launch. And I want you guys to pay attention to the hilarious stat. Remember, they're only selling this on the stats. They're just telling people at the bottom of the screen how far this is going, how high up in the sky it is. And I just want you to see how ludicrous it is. And anybody who believes it believes in Narnia. They really think that there's a wardrobe out there, a closet you can go into where there's a magical world on the other side. That's what they've sold people, right? We're going to launch this thing into the magical world here shortly, 17 seconds away. Let's enjoy this launch. And we're going to be keeping our eye on this side of the screen over here, the left side. By the way, sometimes when they move this, you can tell this is in slow motion. A lot of these camera shots are in slow motion for some reason, and it's just not real. Here we go.
Hollywood.
All right, so this is, and I hope I'm on the right tab. It could be a different one here, but I think it's correct. So this thing's launching up. Again, what do I think? This is launching some sort of like a missile, basically. It's going to go up. It's going to level off here shortly as it's about to do. So it's already heading at like, what, a 45-degree angle? We can see that from, a side angle. When it shows a side angle, you can see what angle this is going at.
Immediately, Jaron, it goes at that angle. Right. Literally, immediately it goes at that angle.
Okay, right now it says it's already 10 miles high. This is what it's saying. Okay, 10 miles high is 50,000 feet. So it's already higher than any airplane. Look at it now. It's at 15 miles high in no time at all. It's already going 45 degrees. Now it's going to start leveling off. It's now 20 miles altitude. We're looking down here at this screen. This is miles, not kilometers. Watch this. Half miles. This is miles. 25 miles. Now it's going level. This is a level flight. How would it be going? Now it's at 30 miles, 31, 32, 33. How is it going up? 34, 35. This thing's going sideways. Look at it. Now it's going down.
Take it easy, Ken. Take it easy, man. Please, you're going to have a heart attack.
42, 43, 44. Who's believing this shit? 47, 48, 49. Give me a break. 51. Now it's at 53. Think of this. They're telling you this thing is 55 miles in the sky. Get out. 60 miles now. It's going down, folks.
Well, as soon as it cut, that's different footage. That's not the same footage.
67 miles. Now it's at 70 miles.
That's,
now
that's
it's at
hilarious.
75.
Look how quick
It's
this
going
is.
down, and it's now at 78, 80, 81 miles now high. Give me a break.
That I ever
Who is
watched.
believing
The most ridiculous thing
87.
ever.
Now it's 90. Look at this
It's
thing heading
impossible.
down. Now it's 90. 95.
It
It went from 90 to
explodes now.
95. Like, now it's at 100. 100 miles in the sky. 100
Just
miles
keeps
high.
going up.
If you're believing this, get out.
That's one hell of a
Get out
camera.
right now. Get out.
How many minutes was that, Jared?
What's the one on the left? Is that the
150 miles. Look at this thing
speed?
going down.
Yeah, speed.
This is what something looks like. Put a pencil up in the air. Look
That
at
is
it.
good.
That's what something going
That's
down
so
looks like.
funny.
127
Oh my
miles
God.
high.
The stuff this
Look
guy's
at
full
50
of.
miles
Oh,
distance.
oh,
It says
man.
50 miles downrange distance. This is something 50 miles away from you and 145 miles high. Get out.
And Jared, what kind of camera they're using? Like,
And use
oh,
mask.
you're a
Best
Get out
camera ever
and
made.
put your
Oh,
mask
I
on.
know.
Yeah, put a
They
mask
should
on.
have
You
a
get out.
camera on them using this camera equipment because this is the only camera and equipment in the world that can
It's
film.
165
Watch how high this thing
miles
goes
high
in
now.
a
It's
second.
170 miles high now. Oh, space is so great. Look at the, and it's just numbers on the screen.
Well, that will be the
the
first
thing.
time
It could
that
be-
you
it
can
could be 10
film
miles high and heading out
180
into the water.
kilometers
How the
or
hell
miles
would-
up in the
Oh,
sky
sorry,
from the
Jared.
ground.
180
That is the
miles.
first
This is
time
why
ever.
People won't believe you.
Amazing.
This is why anybody you tell it's fake, they'll say, yeah, but it's 195 miles high right now. Look at now it's 200 miles in the sky. 200 miles.
Of course it is.
205, 210 now.
The angular resolution is not supported. 200.
They're almost already to the internet.
The size
No.
of the rocket is not even the 10% of the ISS, and 200 miles is like 260 kilometers, and you're still
Alex is
watching in the
very
same
Yeah, but it's
angular
going 800
resolution.
It's going 8,000.
Alex is right here. It's so funny.
So it only takes 3 minutes to get near the International Space Station is the official
Yeah.
story.
Yeah,
dude.
it's there.
It takes longer to go to the 7-Eleven than it takes to then
Yeah.
take the story to the International Space Station.
Look at
What?
250 miles high. It's higher
Oh,
than the
man.
International Space Station now. 260.
Mhm.
It's moving.
It's like Bitcoin, man.
1,000
It's the
miles.
Bitcoin
Just
chart.
going up and up and up. So fast, so level, so high.
10,000 miles per hour now. 270. It's way higher than the ISS. Look at it just going up.
And yet somehow astronauts are somehow
It's not even a real view.
able
but
to survive all the G-force acting on them
now it's
with that kind of a acceleration.
294.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Forget that part because supposedly there is nobody inside, but the
This
rocket,
one,
the
pretty
standard
small.
rockets, it's almost the same thing. And the astronaut, they have the chance to move the stick to press buttons and just get fun of the flight until reach the space.
It is simply beyond belief that people buy this. It's just beyond belief.
No, what is on unbelief is that they still have the same quality of image and
Yeah.
video feedback and distortion like in the 80s.
Yeah, I've been
Man,
talking
they
about
don't
that.
change nothing. When you take a look from the supposedly first picture when the rover landed on Mars a few days ago, it's the same quality. It's the same bullshit, the same black and white image. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Somebody in the chat says you all just don't have enough imagination.
I know.
Yes.
That's our problem. Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Somebody in the D Live chat says, "See, rockets do work in space." So yeah.
Yeah, it's obvious, right?
No, I love it when I
Wow.
find those anti-flat Earth pieces where they show the Elon Musk flying car and they images of Earth from space. Here you have it. Yeah, here's a compendium. Yeah, it's all proven. It's like, oh my God, talk about blowing up your face. The arrogance. Imagine how embarrassing it is when you come out with those kind of arguments when the truth is staring you in the face. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is well, the truth will never be acknowledged by anybody that anybody's going to believe is, if MSNBC doesn't say it or CNN, that, to most people, it's not the truth. which is really sad.
So true. That's the answer. That's how most people. And if you have a job, I get it, because that's all you have is 15 minutes a day. So you have to tune into something to stay up to date with the world, and that 15 minutes is all you have. And so you don't have the ability to question what you hear in that 15 minutes. That would take longer than 15 minutes. So you only have 15 minutes, and all you can do is listen and believe everything that they say. And for the most part, you can go to work and most people agree with you. So that's what most people live their life.
Yeah.
Collecting
And
talking points, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
all.
And you can get a really good feel where a lot of people are. If you watch like David or David and Mark recently did an interview that was really good. But even people that are buying into conspiracy theories still are so woefully lacking on what's going on with the flat Earth model, and they have some of the most incredibly rudimentary questions that they're a long ways. They're a long ways. So it's an uphill battle, to say the least, and that's, I think, why the elite aren't too overly worried about it. So, but whatever. So, okay. Well, guys, I think we'll probably wrap it up, call that a show, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about. But I can't think of anything else. But so, Kyle, I guess we'll go ahead and start with you, and you can kind of tell us what you got coming up next, and where you're going from here.
All right. Well, this next week, my plan is to get a video out about just the demographics, the flat Earth demographics. That's something that I haven't seen any other flat earthers talking about. And people really enjoy studying the flat earthers themselves just as much as they enjoy studying the flat Earth concept. And so I like this screen here in the background. It looks all nice and green, and then all of a sudden it goes up and all of the lighting is completely different. Sorry about that. But, people like to learn about the flat earthers themselves just as much as they like to learn about the flat Earth. And so that's one of the things I'm going to be talking about, is just the flat Earth community and kind of what the demographics are showing for that. And then the week after that, then I'm going to probably do my next episode of Modern Earth Science Destroyed, where we're sorry, I can't talk straight. Where we're going to be talking about satellites and stuff.
Awesome. Okay. Very cool. Well, I will definitely be looking forward to that. And I noticed you said you tried to get Karina in, but she's a little shy, but that's okay. Just tell her she's doing a great job, and she's playing the perfect role of asking the questions. So I think that's awesome.
We'll definitely continue to have her in the future videos.
Yep, for sure. She's definitely a good part of it.
Yeah.
So excellent. All right. So Iru, well, you are back home in Argentina. What do you got planned for, what you're going to do there from this time forward?
Well, I have my return ticket to in June. So I'm going to, I came here also to finish a few things in terms of my family, kind of not business, but I don't know how to say in English, but we can leave it like that. Things that I need to wrap it up before going again into Linda's house. So I came here to take care about that, and of course I keep doing my live streams and research and uploading videos. The last 1 week and a half, approximately, I was a little outside of my social networks and YouTube, because of course I was spending time before came to Argentina with Linda, and then when I arrived here, immediately, going visit my friends and that kind of stuff. And but now I am, again on the track. So I hope I can start doing more, videos and reports and that kind of thing. So that is a little bit about what's going on here. Down here, we can say again, down here.
Down there. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, we'll look forward to seeing that. And then you're going to be heading back up there to Switzerland again. That's amazing.
And I'm also happy because right now I don't have so much time delay, time difference with you guys. So because when I was in Switzerland, I never finished the show for the time difference. But right now here in Argentina, we are a little more close, so I can participate more often and from the beginning to the end of the show.
It's almost the same time, isn't it, with Bob?
Here is 7:30. p.m.
It's 5:22 right now here.
A little bit background. Yeah.
Yep. So Eastern time. I'm on Eastern time, and Jaron's on the other coast on Pacific.
And you
So-
really travel around a lot.
Well,
yeah, he does.
No, I don't say around, but some straight path from Argentina to Switzerland and go and back. I am not traveling so much around the world right now. I really miss the chance to go into United States and visit you guys again and the conference and that kind of stuff. But yeah, for being an Argentinian person, I am a little privileged to have this type of flights. So I really appreciate because my something that still shocked me is when the person tell you that what changed in your life to be a flat earther, and for me was completely all. That's the truth, and the most important thing is the people that you met and the connection that you do, and how things going when you reach new people, and with this type of life code. I don't know how to say in English, but it's an amazing thing, and all my life changed completely in the last 5 years, and so thank you everyone to help me to grow as a person, and in fact even the love came from Flat Earth community. So what else you can ask?
Yep. Awesome. Well, we're certainly glad you've been with us here, and you've been huge to this community and to flat Earth communities all around the world. So you're an amazing asset. So
thank you, man.
All right, cool. All right, so Rodrigo, let's move over to you. And what do you got coming up, sir?
Well, a bunch of things. I'm working on different presentations, collecting more data, change my kind of method of doing things. My website, I'm gonna start unleashing my stuff on Odyssey. Actually, did I post a link for people? No, here, I'm going to post for people in the chat. My Odyssey channel there. One of the great things about Odyssey is that you can, if I have a video that's just a clip from the original stream, so a 5-minute clip from my stream on YouTube, I can substitute that for the full version. And YouTube doesn't let you do that, which is very annoying. Like if you, but Odyssey, it's great because I can substitute that. So I'm going to try to make all my material available for free, and then change my website format to something slightly different. So I don't know, because I think Odyssey could work, and I don't want to have all my stuff behind some sort of paywall. Even though, fair enough, I have like 200 videos there. It's been a lot of work, and that's just the live videos. So I'm just trying to reorganize, go back to also the work we've done. I mean, how many shows we've done the last between the Friday Lounge that just ended and Globebusters has been over 100 shows. So I'm gonna I'm gonna go back to the beginning and try to actually sift through and organize materials for people to then I can have people join in that, and trying out a different way of, I'm using mind maps to organize my information that can be shared and commented by others. So we'll see how that goes.
Which program are you using?
I'm using the Miro whiteboard.
Awesome.
Online.
You're doing the same thing I'm doing here. Love that.
Yeah, it's
Love
incredible. Yeah, we could actually even work on maps together and have people jump in and suggest edits, make comments, and things like that. I'm willing to.
Yeah, send me a link. I'd love to see your mind map over there.
Yeah, I actually just mapped this show a little bit while we were talking. I put your idea, Jaron's idea of the true Earth and censored Earth, and some of the things we've been talking about, because I'm just kind of. I think that's the best way to keep track of things. There's so much you can do with this later on. So, and
yeah,
I kind of.
Yeah,
it's amazing, right? And I've done quite a lot of work back in my university years with modeling by hand with these kind of cybernetic concepts. So when I saw this tool, because someone I'm working with in the Philippines uses that in his company, I was like, holy shit, this is exactly what I needed to make things so much easier for me and for all my projects, not just my, not just my channel. And all this stuff, all this censored stuff, because, as an anthropologist, I was participating, getting involved, learning from people, talking with people. The conversations are not even public anymore, and I'm gonna start to reissue that and go back and actually do the job, which is a slow work of analysis, because sometimes when you're caught in the torrent of things happening, which was the last 3 years, went by so fast, and everything changed in this last year, I feel like it's time to kind of sit back and reassess, if you know what I mean. It's like I feel the need for that. So yeah, and just trying to improve, actually, and be like Jaren, kind of inspired by also Jaren's recent approach with turning towards patrons as well, and being there for them, and kind of working on that communication to make sure that they're getting the most out of their contribution. Because I feel
that's the same for me too, because honestly, we're not getting a lot of support. In fact, the 24/7 channel has received zero support, and that's kind of sad, because I've been running it for a long time. But
well, I saw they had like 50 people watching live the other day.
Well, yeah, but as far as people watching it, but nobody's kicking anything to keep it running, But whatever, So I'm footing it all by myself, but I'm doing what I can do, and like I said, I can do it as long as I can do it, but I can't do it forever, I don't think. So.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have to kind of work something out in order to make things turn around. I mean, why is it that people are not allowed to flourish? Everyone else is. Yeah, Simon Scam is, right? With his thousands of whatever patron for people just consuming lies.
Yep. Well, it just says we're in the wrong business. That's all.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. But a nice consciousness business, at least. Nice platform. I just singing up. It's a really nice, platform. The how is the name? Miro.
Miro.
Nice. I was looking something like that, because I also use Photoshops and create huge files and blah blah blah. But this is very handly, very quickly, intuitive. So
it's incredible.
Very nice. I'm going to
amazing when it comes to collaboration. So
yes, I'm going to start research
for collaborations. And Kyle, I'm not sure if you are an educator there, but if there's an education price which is free forever for educators. Miro, it's quite expensive. Some of the plans, the free one is only 3 boards that you can have.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, but if you can show that you're an educator, you can get free forever. And I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to, because I'm hired in Brazil by a university, so I can try to do it. And then if I do that, I can make a Globebusters group in there, and just get everyone to be editors and to have their own boards, because you can.
Oh man, that'd be amazing.
I'll see if he can. I'm gonna try to do that this week. Right now, I have someone who I'm working with who has a kind of a bigger account, so he has a whole team in there, and I have kind of my own space where I'm working.
Yeah, that's what I do my debate boards on. Anytime I mention the debate board, it's always on Miro.
It's so good. I just love it. The more I use it, I'm more impressed, and it's just so good the idea that you can, when you're collaborating with people, you can see their cursors moving in and you can follow them.
It's really fun. It's really fun.
It's pretty cool. Yeah,
that is cool.
Yeah, it's a way, Bob, to be very productive on the long run. To map your whole plan, what you've done in the past. You could slowly sift through Globebusters shows in a way that will be very useful for others. And others can even come in and comment, but instead of having comment threads, which are horrible to read, you have a huge and beautiful mind map where you can just, explore. So
it solves so many problems when it comes to just doing like a simple chat room conversation, but you can just eliminate all of the gish galloping that goes on, where people just throw a whole bunch of questions to you all at once. You can just kind of separate that out and then address each individual question without ever having to scroll way up to see what was already said. Or
so you're saying you use the chat capability in it?
I use the
for
chat
comments.
capability in that, but I just make separate boxes for every claim, and then I just attach. Yeah, I attach responses to different boxes. You've got to see my mind map here.
Oh
'Cause,
man, you
yeah,
gotta share
I'm
it.
a
I'd love to see
huge
it.
Miro advocate. I've got a humongous mind
Oh,
map.
that's awesome. That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool. All right. Okay, so Jaron, let's move on to you. What do you got coming up this week, sir?
A whole bunch of the same. So we got Raw tomorrow, and then the Thursday show. And besides that, I'm just really busy with all these consultations. It's actually kind of a little secret, talking about what you guys are talking about. My patrons went from 270 or 280 to 330 in just a few weeks. And the secret is that, if you try and offer your stuff for free, like I've done for 6 years, people will just take advantage of that. They'll watch you for free and they'll never donate or support at all. But the second that you start restricting what you put out, and the second you start, catering to patrons, all of a sudden that number flies up. So as many people as got really upset at me about talking about Bitcoin, because I got a lot of messages, don't talk about Bitcoin. Why don't you go back to flat Earth, this and that? A lot of people very upset. But more than that, have reached out. They've signed up to become patrons. They've signed up for consultations. And how do I pay you? How do I pay you ahead of time? And it's like, well, you can just go to the Patreon and become a year member, and I'll do it for free. And so just time after time, people are signing up. So if people are interested in that, it's up to you. Of course, you don't have to be, but my schedule is pretty packed. You can go to jaronism.com/crypto, or just click crypto up in the menu of the website. But yeah, yesterday I had 9 hours total of consults, so 5 1 hours and then 2 hours. So those are just packed days like I've never had before. So
Wow.
That's really
and
good,
it's
Jared.
really good. People are really happy. In fact, people should sign up sooner than later, because I've heard from everybody I'm charging too little. So it's like, okay, well then I'm going to probably raise the price a little bit. But if someone does want to become a patron and does the $5 a month, you can click pay for the whole year, which gives you, I think it's 2 months free. You end up paying $50 for the year. Then you can reach out, and I'm able to do an hour for free for those people. So by doing that, it seems like the numbers are climbing, and things are looking up for those that are interested in that. Now some just don't want anything to do with it. I get it. But I was on a show with Uncle Odd, and a lot of people that watched him, now he calls himself Uncle Vigilante, have reached out as well. And it just seems like those people are willing to pay the money to get that kind of information in just a short hour span. So I don't know. David Weiss was talking about some ideas too, thinking maybe I should do some group things, like we maybe have 10 or 20 people who could all do it at once for cheaper.
Dude, you can set up like a course with a class, and then you do a monthly. You can set up a class for a month, and you get a bunch of people to sign up, and you follow a schedule. Boom,
Yeah. That's a really great idea, though.
And about Globebusters, I mean, this is my opinion at this point. It could change as always. We've done this show for 5 years. Every single episode that we've ever done has been free. And, to expect people to not just take advantage of that is kind of, at this point, I think, we can either accept that, or we can do something like Crow has done. Again, if Crow and Jason, if they put 2 hours out for free every single week on YouTube, everybody would watch it for free. But because you have to pay to watch the second half, they get a lot of people to pay enough that supports them. That's what they do for a living. So with something like Globebusters, I know we've always been on this thing that we want to be free. We want to present the information to everybody. But if it gets to the point, Bob, where you can't continue doing it, then you need to make a decision where maybe we do something like that, where the first hour is free and the last 2 hours are only for Globebuster patrons, and we just set up like an unlisted link. And, if people don't like it, then they're free to join. I mean, for me, if there's somebody out there who's providing me with good information and they ask for $5 a month and I'm not willing to pay $5 a month, then I don't appreciate their information. That's just the way it goes, right? That's
really about where I'm at too. Cause I mean, I have hardly any patrons. I get virtually zero donations. I've got, all the links. I never get any donations. Patrons are almost nil. And it's like, what am I doing wrong? And I don't really like to ask for it either, but it's at a point now where, if I don't do something, then I'm going to have to do something else. And that's kind of where I'm about at,
Well, that's where I'm at too, but you're right. Cause I was in the same boat. I hate asking, but then you realize that that's the only way to get done. Nobody's just throwing money at you for no reason.
it might just be the case of really prepping up your Patreon, Bob, and providing something for people there, you know. I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
I think Jaren's got a really good model where everyone knows what he's gonna do. He communicates actively because I'm a patron. I've been a patron for a while. And you know, that's one of the things, you know, upkeeping, I guess, and then starting to, you know, offer something like Jaren just suggested as well, like a second hour, or I don't know. It's gotta be, you know, on my side, the best I can do is do my research, my work, what I've worked on, what I collected, and provide what I can, and you know, turn it into something, hopefully a course for my expertise, right? But who knows if that's even going to work? I might just end up with, you know, I also don't have many patrons, but you know, it's 17 or something like this. It's not nothing, and I'm very grateful to that support. I mean, it does nothing in terms of helping me with my daily life and paying bills. So essentially, what I'm doing is kind of pro bono in a way, you know. And it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I'd hate to ever take a book or a page out of Simon Dan's book, but there's always advertising, kind of make an opportunity to say, hey, you've got a business, let's run an ad for you, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for me, I really never want to be somebody that's going to not be honest. I don't want to be Simon Dan. I mean, you go watch that video of him. It's the most ridiculous thing ever, of him saying that these underwear that he bought are the most comfortable underwear. I'll fucking puke, I swear to God.
But
And
we can make like a little, like a banner or something that can be on the side of the video. You know what I mean? Just like that's what YouTube does.
oh, got you. Yeah, like a little advertising. Yeah, I don't know how many people really want to advertise with flat earthers. I tried it once with a guy who is a flat earther who owns an insurance company. And he said, yeah, mention my insurance company and this and that. I did it for like a week because I didn't say this is the best insurance company ever. I said, hey, here's a flat earther. He sells insurance. If you want to go through him, if you're in California, give him a call and tell him that, you know, I sent you, and he'll give you a discount. So we did that for like a week, and he got a bunch of calls, but then he called me and said that he couldn't do it anymore because of the amount of baller trolls that called and gave his employees shit about advertising on a flat earth show. So, you know, that's what happens. And eventually he had to say, you know, I just can't do it anymore. Yeah, here's your $150. You did get 3 signups, you know, 3 people signed up for you, but I got 6 calls from people who were giving my employees shit, and it's not worth it to me. So, I mean, that's the bad part about it. So I think it's better sometimes to just be honest with people about saying that, you know, obviously we don't get those kind of advertisements. None of my videos are advertiser friendly anymore. None of Globebusters is monetized anymore. So when that stuff starts happening, you know, you just have to put it out there and see what people respond. And like I've said before, if I can't do it the way I used to, so now I say, okay, I need to do it through Patreon, and this is what I need. And if you don't get enough to do it, then that's kind of your clue to stop.
Exactly.
That's kind of all the evidence you need. And then maybe you work it the other way. So you tell people, I'm going to do patron only, or I'm going to do this show and it's going to be for patrons only. And you kind of build that audience. And then if you ever have enough money that's all you need, then you can go back and start offering things for free. I think I did it in the wrong direction, right? Let me offer everything for free. And then you get to a place where you can't support yourself anymore. Whereas if I would have kind of done the opposite way, let me do everything for patrons, and then you make enough there. Now you can offer things for free because it doesn't matter anymore. You don't have to worry about it if it's not advertiser friendly, or if DLive kicks you off or demonetizes you, or if PayPal gets rid of you, or Amazon gets rid of you. You know, those things are a struggle if you're always trying to provide free content.
Yep, absolutely. So, okay, well, we'll work it out. See what happens.
It's causes, kind of say, hey, these are the projects that we want to do, and help us get these going. You know, that way we can get more participation.
Yeah, and I actually had some ideas that I wanted to discuss with you, Kyle, at some point that may be running along those lines. So we'll talk about that off air.
And I do think, one thing I've noticed about the Thursday shows and the Friday shows and these call-in shows, I think people really like to call in and talk and, conversate about these things. And I'm wondering if there might be something there. And I'm not, I don't know what it would be, but if you, charged some money to people, that we could do like some roundtables, where maybe it's on a topic like gravity, maybe it's on a topic like electromagnetism or, the ether. And rather than it just be us, we almost can kind of moderate what would be a massive discussion between 10, 20 people that would be interested in that. And maybe it doesn't even need to be on YouTube. Maybe it doesn't even need to be aired live. It's more of a think
Sign up.
panel, if you will. Right. So people sign up. They pay $20 each. If you get 10 people, that's $200. And then, you know, Bob moderate the show, kind of keep the conversation going for 2-3 hours. And then that's, you know, $200 is a pretty good day.
Yeah, not bad. So, all right. Okay, guys. Well, I think we're going to call that a wrap. And as far as next week, I may be going down to, I forgot the town in South Carolina where they do the meetups. I may be doing that, but I'm not entirely positive of that. But just be on the aware that that may be where I'm going to be next week. And if not, then we will be back here for sure. And I may even go live if I'm down there, but they've been bugging me to come down there and kind of hang out with them and do the flat smacking from the event that they have down there every other week. So I may be doing that. And other than that, that's about it for me. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a show, and we will see you guys next time. Until then, be good to each other. Don't lie to each other. Open your mind because there's truth inside. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
Peace.
See you later. Thanks.